carrying knives as part of a police operation at Southern Cross Station last night. Transit police used walk-through metal detectors and handheld wands to conduct random weapon searches as part of the operation. Police say while 3 knives is not a large number, it's still 3 less weapons on the streets. Overseas, world leaders are gathering for G8 talks in the United States, which are expected to be dominated by the Eurozone crisis. The host, President Obama, has already met with the new French President François Hollande. The BBC's Mark Madell reports from Washington.
His first week in office and the new French president finds himself at the centre of a crisis, welcomed into the White House as a man who can help change the dynamic in Europe. President Obama sees François Hollande as a potential ally. They both want Europe to put more emphasis on growth and less on austerity. The Obama administration has long worried that Europe and the Germans haven't grasped. To them, it's obvious the central bank needs to take dramatic action. When the G8 gather at the president's rustic retreat at Camp David, Angela Merkel will find herself under a good deal of gentle pressure.
And the Olympic flame has arrived in Britain at the beginning of a 70-day relay, which will culminate in the opening ceremony of the London Games on July 27. The flame was flown from Athens to Cornwall in southern England. Updating sport, football games are being played across the country this afternoon in Adelaide, Darwin, Sydney and Launceston. The Hawks are in Tasmania to take on Fremantle, and coach Alistair Clarkson is expecting Freo will be a tough opponent.
They've just been quietly going along for not playing outstanding footy, but getting the job done every week, and we got a lot of regard for the way that they go about it. They're very well coached, and we're going to need to play our best footy to knock them off.
Tonight, the Dreamtime clash sees Essendon take on Richmond. Tigers coach Damien Hardwick says it'll be a big challenge taking on Essendon's ruck duo of Paddy Ryder and Tom Belchambers.
Well, Belchambers has been outstanding. You know, there's fair argument that he's all-Australian form at the moment. He's such a formidable unit. He gets used through the midfield really well. We had a look at that vision today, and he's just a really good link player for Essendon also. And Ryder's capable of taking 3 to 4 marks up inside 50, but then also getting used through the middle of the ground also.
And the first of 2 V8 supercar races at Phillip Island this weekend gets underway just after 4 o'clock this afternoon. News time, 1:05.
Radio Eastern 98.1 Weather Update.
Yes, and taking a look at the latest Bureau forecast for the outer east, and today will be mostly cloudy day. Scattered showers becoming isolated this afternoon, then clearing, winds northwesterly, going for a top today of 16. And the outlook for Sunday is a mostly sunny afternoon and 17. For Monday, it'll be mostly sunny again and 17, and continuing Tuesday, mostly sunny and 19, and for Wednesday, again, mostly sunny and 19. Currently in Melbourne's outer east, it's sitting on 15 degrees. This is Radio Eastern 98.1.
Now it's time to go local for your footy. This is EFL Saturday. Let's jump straight into the warm-up.
Well, they played out a thrilling draw in September last year in Division 4. Heathmont were the victorious in the end, but they both went up to Division 3. So we've got the Division 4 grand final replay of 2011 in Division 3 in 2012. And it's a pleasure to be out here at H.G. Parker Reserve to watch Heathmont and the Glen Waverley Hawks go at it in, of course, the Division 4 grand final replay. At the moment, these two teams in Division 3 Waverley Hawks sit in 6th position, and Heathmont have advised everyone they are in 2nd position. Looking forward to covering this game after 2 p.m. today, but it is time for the EFL Game Day warm-up. I'm Ben Waterworth, your host for the next hour or so, and joining me in the pre-game is the man who does milk cows for a living. He is one of the most pristine members here on the EFL Media Team, Peter Baird.
Yeah, good afternoon, Ben, and good afternoon to our listeners. A huge day today out here at H.E. Parker Reserve. I've never actually been out to this ground before, so it's the first for me. Now, I've covered the Eastern Football League now. It's my 4th season, but never actually made the journey out here to H.E. Parker, and can't wait to get this game underway today for a clash between 2 of the heavyweights we've seen in Division 4 over the last few years, both making that step up to Division 3 today.
Well, you think of H.E. Parker Reserve, you come in, you're surrounded by you almost feel like you're in Warrandyte or something like that. You're surrounded by the trees, the bushland, a couple of ground, the netball club on the other side. It's quite a little environment, isn't it, Peter?
It is quite a prestigious ground. It's not a huge ground either. I was probably a little bit surprised. I thought the ground might be a bit bigger. But it's a great surrounding here, and I tell you what, though, Ben, that burger, it's probably the best I've had this year.
Not bad. I remember I came out here last year. We had a Heathmont Nunawading game that we covered last year out here, Pete, and it is a sensational burger. I think it's Steph out there on the barbecue that's doing fantastic work. So well done to Steph and the team. I think Steph was nominated for the Trojan Tools workhorse during a couple of weeks ago. So fantastic effort by the girls out there on the barbecue tent. Let's have a look at this game. Of course, we'll have a look at Heathmont and Glen Waverley Hawks between 1 and 1:30 today. We'll get a couple of guests in from both clubs. We've got a couple of big name guests we're hoping to join us here in the clubs rooms. We do have a ladies function going on behind us, so we'll try and be as discreet as we possibly can. But Peter, tell me about the Heathmont Jets. Can you believe, if I said to you at round 5, coming into this game, that the Heathmont Jets would be 4-1, would you have laughed me off?
I don't know about laughing you off, but they have definitely surprised me. I didn't think they were that top-tier team in Division 3. All due respect to the Jets, I thought they were probably that next tier down from perhaps a North Ringwood and a Baronia. But to sit 4-1 after 5 games, they're going fantastically to start this year. And they're just looking to probably maintain that momentum they've built up and really keep it going. They've surprised a lot of teams this year with their intensity and their ferocity at the ball. They're a great young team. They've got plenty of pace, and they're going to really take it up to the Glen Waverley Hawks today. So
it's going to be a fantastic game nonetheless. I suppose the big thing for Heathmont that we all know is that magnificent forward line. And, of course, Mickey Aiken came back last week, was able to kick 3 goals. Odermatt kicked 4. Darren Sheen kicked 3 goals as well. Is this one of the best forward lines going around in Division 3 at the moment, do you think, Pete?
It's got that lineup of more of a higher division forward line. They've got the really big bodies down there. Darren Sheen, he's just a mountain of a man at full forward.
Not a small boy.
He's just going to take a lot of stopping, and he's just that huge presence. He commands the ball to be kicked to him. You throw in a guy like Mickey Aitken, plenty of experience, another very big body, and to add to that, a guy with the class of Lee Odermatt at centre-half forward. And he's another one to throw into the mix there. He just provides a target, takes a big mark, likes to do the flashy thing, likes to be on the big stage.
Yes.
With the media team out here today watching this game, broadcasting and streaming it live, this will be right up Lee Odermatt's alley today. And the stage is just set for him today to really take this game by storm. Their forward line, it's just got so many options for them.
Yes.
They've got the small midfielders that can get dangerous, get attacking it as they go forward as well. I don't know, it's just a huge part of their game setup, the way they play their football, Heathmont. They've looked for those options. It's just probably unrivaled in Division 3 this year, Ben.
Well, did you have a look at the Footy EFL / the Heathmont Jets Facebook page during the week, Peter?
No, I didn't know.
There was I know Chris does some fantastic work with the Heathmont website and taking photos as well. There was a picture of the man himself, Lethal Lee, taking a screamer over, I think it was they defeated Wantirna South last weekend, a screamer over a Wantirna South player, and I just noticed plenty of likes, plenty of banter going on, so I'm sure we might be able to see a few more speckies, a few more goals from the boot of Lee Odermatt today. Of course, you can text us anytime you want today, 0410 495 582. That's 0410 495 582. Certainly looking forward to getting involved in that one. Tell us about the Glen Waverley Hawks, Pete. There's currently 6 on the ladder. Is that sort of a just start to the year for them?
I probably need to watch what I say now as Mick Gore walks in behind me, the coach. Over the last few years, I've probably described them as a little bit flat-track bullies at times. They love beating up on those teams in the lower half of the ladder. They loved really just kicking a huge amount of scores. I think the thing they've addressed this year, they've tried to add some pace to their midfield. People have talked about how quick they've been with guys like Darren Dewar and Wayne McGee through that midfield, but they've probably added that extra dimension this year. Some new players you'll have to watch coming into the side, guys like Hunter, Schoenmakers, some real pace coming through their midfield this year, and it's probably added that extra dimension to them. They're rock solid the whole right across the ground, and a guy I love watching playing out there, the big Fia Tutu.
Yes.
Takes the game on.
Oh, yes.
One of the hugest bodies you'll see in Division 3 this year. Just got the build of a Hercules out there. Just love watching the Glen Waverley Hawks play.
The dancing ballerina, looking forward to seeing Fia Tutu go about his work this afternoon. But we're also looking forward to seeing Andrew Azzopardi go about his work, of course, and he's able to join us right now. Thanks for joining us, Andrew.
Thank you, Benny.
Cheers, and of course, the coach of the mighty Glen Waverley Hawks, Mick Gore.
Yeah, thanks, Benny.
Mick, tell us about the start of the year. Currently sit six on the ladder. It's been quite a good transition from a neutral perspective, quite a good transition up to Division 3. Do you feel comfortable in Division 3 at the moment?
Yeah, we do, mate. We probably feel that we probably could be, 5-zip at the moment. We let one slip against Churnside and obviously against Ringwood as well. We're 20 points up towards the end of the game and let that one slip. So, look, we probably haven't been necessarily playing our best football, although probably last week showed some really good signs. So, look, we think we're matching it with third division, and we're quite comfortable with the way we're going.
Andrew, how do you feel going up into Division 3? What are the major differences? People always talk about pace. Have you noticed the pace difference particularly?
Compared to the top 4 or 5 sides last year, like the Basin, South Belgrave, and French Gully games that we played, the intensity probably stays a lot longer. You have to keep your intent up. Obviously, the first couple of games we played, we died off towards the last quarter. But there's no Surrey Parks and Canterbury's this year, and it's a lot harder, a lot more competitive between all sides, I guess, and that's why it's so even.
Well, Mick, I had a chat to you during the week about that dreaded day last year that I won't ask you about, but Andrew, I'll ask you about it. The Division 4 Grand Final last year, of course, both these teams today up in Division 3. Do you use last year's Grand Final not only as motivation for today's game, but as motivation to try and do your best in Division 3 this year?
Yes and no. I guess we need to redeem ourselves a little bit from last year's Grand Final. We played well all year, and those couple of weeks off in the finals, I didn't think probably helped us, but still, no excuses. We lost the Grand Final, and today's a massive challenge for us to get some respect back, I guess, and just to show the comp. And clearly, we're not a side that's come up and struggling like a Kilsyth did a few years ago. We're up about with these top sides, so hopefully we can do well and have a good game.
Now, Mick, of course, Darren Dewar, I badly made the mistake putting my hand up here that I said Darren Dewar was due for a big game today, but not realising that he was been out with a pretty bad injury. I think in round 2 that he went down in round 2. How big of a loss is Darren Dewar, particularly after such a wonderful performance in last year's grand final?
Oh, look, Dew's an outstanding player. He definitely, he creates a lot of dramas for opposition sides. So, his versatility and his agility to get around the ground and his fitness, we certainly have missed that. There's no doubt about that. So, look, Dew was very close to playing today. It's probably my decision in the end to not let him play. So, look, he won't be far off. He'll obviously be back next week. So, and we're looking forward to having him back. But yeah, look, he's a loss. And look, as it's just said, with the competition being as close and intense as it is, you can't really afford to lose any players at all, Benny. So I think that irrespective of whether it be Darren Drew or anyone else, we miss all our players, our core players coming through in the senior side.
Now, looking at players that are going to miss today, just going through that Glen Waverley Hawks team sheet that your president, Steve Potts, has just given me, yes. I don't notice your name on there today, Andrew. What's the go there?
Just probably going to have a week off today, Pete. A bit of a sore back, so yeah, I've struggled a bit during the week, so we'll hopefully be back full Whitehorse next week.
Nothing gets past you, does it?
It's pretty demoralising actually not playing today, because we definitely do owe these blokes one. So hopefully the boys can do the right thing and get the job done.
Now, Andrew, we know over the past few years there's been a really healthy rivalry build up between yourselves and the Heathmont Jets. You guys are pretty good mates off the field, but when you step onto that park, there's nothing between these two sides, no love lost at all. How much does today's game mean to the playing group to get one back over a team that you guys would see as pinching a premiership from you last year?
Well, if you watched the footy last night and you saw the Pies get up over the Cats, it's probably just as meaningful for us, I think, today. And it's exactly the same conditions as the grand final day was, and there's no excuses today. We've got a chance to redeem ourselves a bit, and not really go out and trying to smash Heathmont like on the score. We just want to get a win on the board and get the extra 4 points to get us up towards the top 5, which we want to do at the end of the year.
Now, Mick, I've spoken to you a few times throughout the year, and we've spoken in private about these sort of things, but over the last couple of years, you've been a really dominant force, the Glen Waverley Hawks in Division 4. You haven't been pushed by a large number of teams. Making that step up to Division 3, at the start of the year, what did you identify as the real areas you needed to improve to really take it up to the top teams in Division 3 this year?
Yeah, look, Bertie, I dare say we probably looked at our midfield. We've been relying on the same blokes, McGee, Aaron Middle, Disco and so forth through the midfield. For so many years, we identified that as an area that we needed to work on, and as you quite rightly pointed out in the lead-up, mate, we we thought that we were probably a little bit slow through that area as well. So, you know, the likes of Hancock and Showenmakers coming into the side, you know, David Lang and so forth, it really, it's added a lot of pace to the unit, which has been helpful.
And another player I'd like to ask you about, a guy that's been named in your best a few times this year, Brad Hunter. What can you tell us about Brad?
Yeah, look, Brad Hunter's he's an exciting footballer, mate. We were lucky to pick him up from Knox this year, and he spent a few seasons down at the Oakley Chargers with my brother. So there's no doubt he's an exceptional talent. He's got great foot skills and so forth, and you know, he's very aggressive at the ball and backs his ability. So he's been a great acquisition for us, mate.
And on a more personal note, mate, we see you hobbling around there, a bit of a hobble going on. What's going on there?
Yeah, I got attacked by a coffee table, Pete. That's actually what happened.
Yeah, look, played footy for 30 years, Bertie, as you know, mate, and you've caught me out. You told me you weren't going to talk about this, mate, but yeah, look, just a work injury, mate. I ruptured my ACL at work in December and tore my meniscus in half as well. So I had to have the knee reco 3 weeks ago now. So yeah, I'm sort of struggling with it a bit, mate. So, but needed to get it done to keep up with blokes like Loudmouth beside me. So on the training track, mate. So just to keep him in the straight and narrow.
Well, I don't think there's any doubt that the Glen Waverley Hawks will keep up with Heathmont today. It's going to be a fantastic game. We're really looking forward to it. We really do appreciate you boys' time. You know, it's quite a stressful time, 45 minutes out, an hour out from the game. So we do appreciate you coming in. Good luck for today and good luck for the rest of the season.
Yeah, thanks, Benny. Thanks, Betty.
Mick Gall and Andrew Azzopardi joining us right here on EFL Game Day. As I said, Pete, it's a very stressful time for these gentlemen, so do appreciate them coming in. Frosty, your read on the Glen Waverley Hawks. How do you think they'll go today?
I think they'll go very well. I think they'll take it right up to Heathmont. I'm actually picking them to have a win. I think, though, they've got the mix. I think they've identified areas they can improve on their side they had from last year that was a really dominant force in Division 4. They'll still be bleeding from that grand final loss last year. They try and downplay it a little bit, but having spoken to Mick Gall as recently as yesterday before today, it was a driving force for him not to prove to anybody else around the Eastern Football League, not to the media team, not to supporters, not to members of his own club, but to themselves as a playing group, that they're a better side, they believe, than the Heathmont Jets, and they want to go out there today and prove it and make up. Well, they're not going to make up for a premiership loss, but make up a little bit for that game last September.
Well, one person who certainly won't want the Glen Waverley Hawks taking it up to the Heathmont Jets today. He is a big part of the media team, but above all, he is, of course, a local and loyal Heathmont Jets fan. He will be one of our Kieran Urgent Care boundary riders today. It's a very good afternoon to Dyson Baker.
Very good afternoon to you, Ben, and to Pete, and to our listeners. Really excited about this one. I was talking to a few people during the week, and I said this one's going to go either one of two ways. I reckon this one's going to go right down to the wire with the outs that both sides have got, or one side's just going to turn it on, and it'll be interesting to see just repercussions on the rest of the season from today's game.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a fantastic game out here. Of course, the Division 4 Grand Final replay from last year in Division 3, and one person who doesn't like talking about last year's Grand Final, of course, is the president of the Glen Waverley Hawks Football Club. A very, very proud man, very proud of his club. And it's a good afternoon to Steve Potts.
Thank you. How are you going?
We're doing okay. How are you feeling before today's game? Is it a bit of a strange feeling after what happened in September last year?
Yeah, look, it's time to play them again, I suppose. We're a bit disappointed last year, obviously, but that's in the past. We can't change that now. We've just got to move forward and get a little bit of revenge somehow today, maybe. That'd be nice.
Absolutely. 4 points will go down very nicely, I'm sure. What's the feeling being like across the first 5 rounds of the season in a new division that the club hasn't ventured into yet?
Oh, look, we're sitting about where we should be. I think we probably had a couple of games we could have lost that we won, and we probably lost a couple of games we should have won. I mean, really, we probably, one turn to south, we were probably lucky in the end. That was a bit tight. Templestowe was a good comeback. Churnside Park was a game we were in front by a fair bit at half time and then blew it. So, so we're about where we want to be, I think.
Now, Steve, next year the big move from Capital Reserve to the new home ground. What's the club doing, and how's that all going at the moment? 6 more home games at Capital Reserve, then off to the much better, bigger facilities?
Only 6 more games of all those horrible setups at our ground, trying to barricade people out and everything. Look, it's we're in a bit of a planning mode at the moment. We've actually got to put something forward to the council on the renovation that happens at the end of 2013. We'll go into the ground as it is now, which we're still happy about anyway, but then we're working on what they're going to do to the ground and to improve it and that sort of thing. So the lights application's in, and we're hoping that'll go through on the 6th of June. They'll put some lights up there well and truly before we get there. So yeah, it's exciting going down there actually.
Now, making the move up to Division 3 this year, that was obviously part of the planning for the club to make that progression. What is the plans for the club in the next 5 years? Does the club have a 5-year plan from here as to where you'd like to be?
Yeah, look, pretty much. I mean, we probably look at, when we went up, we thought, right, 3 years to get ourselves to being a very, very top side in 3rd Division, hopefully be able to move up. I mean, it's always hard. I mean, we lost it last year, so, you know, I mean, if we can get up to 2nd Division in 3 years from now, we'd be pretty happy with that. And that's what the aim of the club is, really, is to get the list right to be able to do that.
Potsy, in terms of obviously everything that's happened, I mean, up into 3rd Division this year and off to a new ground next year, what's sort of the repercussions from this year in terms of getting more players, more supporters to follow you over to the new ground, and just in terms of trying to build the club off the field as well as on the field?
Look, I think a lot of the sponsors we've got are pretty keen to actually jump on again, and they're talking about extra money and all that sort of thing. We just think that down there will give us probably better sponsorship opportunities. Look, to get people to follow us across there, we just think there's more opportunity for people to come and watch us there. We've got a bit of work to do with our junior club to make sure that everyone's sort of aware of why we're doing it and the reasons we're doing it, because a lot of kids live locally and they've got to travel a bit of distance now to get there. So, look, there's a lot of work to do on it, but look, we think that sort of ground might attract players to want to come to the club.
And will the Hungry Hawk Burger be following you over to the new ground? Because that was an absolute ripper last year. We haven't tasted it this year.
Well, at least we only put the right ingredients in ours on the competition day. But anyway, we won't go into that.
We can't wait to get out. Can't wait to get the Hawk Burger into our gobs here. But more importantly, we can't wait to see this game. It's going to be a fantastic day.
A good game.
And we're good luck for today, and good luck for the rest of the season. And more importantly, good luck for the move over to the capital very soon.
Thanks, guys. Thank you very much.
Steve Potts, the president of the Glen Waverley Hawks, joining us right here on EFL Game Day. Seem always a very cool, calm and collected customer, Steve Potts, and today is no exception as well. Dice, let's talk about your Heathmont boys. Are they? Where do you read them? I asked Pete beforehand if I said to you that the Jets would be 4-1 after the first 5 games of the year, would you have laughed me off, or would you have said, yeah, that's reasonably accurate?
Look, I wouldn't have probably said 4-1. I would have had them sort of middle of the road, as you said, Pete. I was listening on the way over here, and I think they've proven a few people wrong just with, I mean, the Templestowe win was probably the biggest for Heathmont in round 1, just to sort of make a statement so early on in the season. I think injuries are going to plague them a little bit. The depth is lacking, as we've seen last week with the unfortunate incident with Membectus during last week's game. But that could pay dividends in terms of giving other guys a go in a few games this year. But we'll see how they go for especially today. Well,
we've heard from Mick Gall, the coach of the Glen Waverley Hawks, but we're now about to hear from the opposition, the successful Division 4 2011 Premiership coach, and he's back again in Division 3 this season. So good afternoon to Steve Buckle.
Hey boys, how are you?
We're doing okay. We're really excited to be out here. How are you feeling before today's game after what transpired last year? Is there just a bit of extra feeling around today?
Oh, look, we've tried not to build it up too much in that respect, but look, we know Glen Waverley probably have, because they're going to want to atone for last year. So look, we're expecting a pretty fierce contest today. Just for everyone out there, of course, Mem suffered a pretty nasty neck injury last week. I was talking to a couple of Heathmont guys yesterday, but what's the latest you've heard on Mem? Oh, look, it's all positive now. He's up and about, which is fantastic. So he's probably ahead of his recovery schedule.
Brett Field and the team at Ferntree Gully Holden are offering some great
Wednesday, which I think he was expected to get out on the Thursday, but he got out on the Wednesday, and he's at home now, and he's moving around. He's got good movement in the neck, so things are really positive. We're hoping actually to see him come down today, actually, which would be fantastic.
Now, Steve, we asked this question to Mick Gall, and I'll put it to you as well. You were so good in Division 4 last year, moving up to Division 3 to sit 4-1 after 5 games. What were the areas you really identified that you needed to improve this year to make that big step up to Division 3?
Oh, look, I think our attack on the man and the attack on the footy and winning contested footy was a big emphasis for us. We obviously needed to also pick up a couple of players and bolster our midfield, which we've done. But look, unfortunately, a couple of those boys are out today. But we identified some areas we need to improve in, and one was really our on-ball brigade. And although they did a fantastic job last year, we had to get one or two players. We got Mark Levins from Woolbark, and he's been fantastic for us. Unfortunately, at the moment, he's out with a broken hand, but. And we also need a ruckman, so we were lucky enough to get Mem for for a couple of weeks, but unfortunately he's gone down, so we're probably a ruckman short again now. So we're on the hunt. So if anybody's out there and wants to put their hand up and come down to Heathmont as a ruckman, we're looking.
Robbie Ross is keen apparently to come down. What I heard.
And I'll tell you what, why wouldn't you? They're sitting second on the ladder. What were your expectations at the start of the year, Steve, and have they changed now after 5 games being 4-1?
No, look, my expectations have always been pretty high, just because of the belief I've got in the group, and I expected to probably play finals this year, and I hope we still can. We've given ourselves the best opportunity by starting 4-1, so hopefully we can keep that momentum going forward. But look, nothing's sort of deviated from our plans at all. We've still. Look, cliche, we still attack it week by week and just make sure the opposition that we come up against, we just give a fierce contest and make sure we hold ourselves in good stead every single week we come up. So, look, like I said, we've started well and we just need to maintain that now.
So you spoke about, obviously, a couple of injuries that you've had over the last few weeks. What's the depth like in terms of guys that, worst case scenario, you get a couple of injuries over a few weeks, guys being able to almost fill the role to 100% each week if there is a few injuries in the senior side?
Well, look, Dice, I suppose the worst case scenario is already played out. We've probably got seven of our starting team from probably the first round. They're out already, so. It shows that we have got some good depth, contrary to probably what most people believed. You take seven starting blokes at any 22, and most teams are probably going to struggle. But we've been able to keep the momentum going and keep playing some good footy. And the guys who are coming up are really playing their role, and that's what we ask of the guys who come up, not to dominate games, but just to fulfil their role and do a job for us. And to their credit, they certainly have. And one bloke in particular, Sammy Barling, has just been fantastic. He's always been on the fringe as a ones and twos player, probably more predominantly twos. But that's just been because he's been battling to try to get a spot off one of our other on-ballers. But he's been fantastic for us since he stepped in, and all the boys who are stepping up. So hopefully we can continue that today, and hopefully we start getting some boys back soon.
Well, Steve's got he's got the jacket on, he's got the beanie on. I don't know how long that's going to last, because it's going to be a pretty hot game out there today on the field. It might be just as hot in the coach's box as well. Good luck for today, Steve. Much appreciated for your time, and good luck for the rest of the season.
Cheers, thanks, boys.
Steve Buckle, the coach of the Heathmont Football Club, much appreciated. Him joining us right here on EFL Game Day on 98.1 Radio Eastern FM, and of course streaming on EFL Game Day. What we're going to do now is we're going to take our first break right here on EFL Game Day. Fantastic first half hour with the Heathmont and Glen Waverley Hawks guests. We're going to have a good look at that game after 2 o'clock today, of course, broadcast this one. But right after the break, we're going to go through all the games across all divisions in the Eastern Football League, give our very in-depth analysis and expert tips. And we're looking forward to doing that right after the break on here on EFL Game Day.
Brett Field and the team at Ferntree Gully Holden are offering some great end of financial year extras, including 1 free standard service, 2 years extra warranty and 3 years extra roadside assist. But the team wanted to go one step further during their 3-day sale. From this Friday through to Sunday, score up to $600 in additional extras with the purchase of any new or used car. So get down there to pick up a great deal and a truckload of free extras. Only at Ferntree Gully Holden. Conditions apply. Offer only available between the 18th to 20th of May 2012. LMCT 443.
Program sponsor.
Sudden fever, aching body, sore throat, chills, nausea, headache, dizziness. It sounds like you need medical assistance urgently. It's difficult getting an immediate appointment with your GP when you need care first. So come to a carer, Urgent Care, where you don't need an appointment and you don't have to wait. They're Australia's first walk-in medical and emergency clinic. Walk in at 157 Scoresby Road, Baronia, or call them on 9839 3333. That's 9839 3333. Akira Urgent Care. Your health, your destiny.
Hello, this is Peter O'Brien. You're very welcome to join me on Radio Eastern 98.1 every Monday at noon for the Monday Music Showcase, highlighting the best artists both old and new, performing the best songs of all time. At 1:30 p.m. on the program, we feature either an artist of the week or perhaps an interview with a local entertainer. Along with all this, you'll catch up with what's happening in our local area from Radio Eastern's Community File. So there's your invitation. Don't miss it. Radio Eastern 98.1, 12 noon until 2, the Monday Music Showcase.
If you love your EFL footy like I do and you love getting down to see your team play, you don't want to be spending your weekend stuck in the car driving. That's why I opened a Breeze account. Eastlink is the quickest, easiest way to get around Melbourne's east, and Tags are the cheapest way to use Eastlink. So open your Breeze account online at eastlink.com.au today and use Eastlink in the cheapest possible way with a Tag account. Instead of being stuck behind the wheel, I can have more time getting stuck into the umpire. Ball! Eastlink, it's time better spent, like at the footy.
Program sponsor. At Hog's Bread Cafe, we're serving Aussie-style great food and a feel-good attitude. Now we're going the whole hog with pasta, more seafood, chicken, rib dishes and fresh salads. And always our famous 18-hour slow-cooked prime rib steak. What are you waiting for? Come in for lunch or dinner and experience the value that is Hog's Bread Cafe.
Chadston, Dandenong, Karingal, Knox Ozone and Water Gardens. Come in and experience some hospitality.
Our hospitality is all about you. We do great steak. Program sponsor.
The warm-up continues right here on EFL Saturday.
Yes, welcome back out here to HE Parker Reserve. Of course, the home of the Heathmont Jets. We're set for a big game today between Heathmont and the Glen Waverley Hawks, the Division 4 2011 Grand Final replay in Division 3, and we're certainly looking forward to that at the moment. We're going to now, Dyson, it's now time to go through all the other games in the Eastern Football League. It's a big round. I saw Rob Sharp tweet yesterday. He quote, "Is this the biggest round of the EFL in season 2012? I think Sharpie's getting a little ahead of himself, to be honest, to settle down a little bit, Sharpie, but he's all right. Certainly looking forward to this weekend and looking forward to going through all the games. And we'll start in Division 4 this weekend. Park Orchards taking on Nunawading. Of course, you called Park Orchards last weekend. Pretty good effort. Nunawading, though, that was super impressive against Sylvan last weekend. Getting a very good victory. Who do you think is going to take this one out there at Domini Reserve?
Look, there's a few sides in Division 4 at the moment that are super hard to pick. You can't go with them and you can't go against them. I mean, Park Orchards, I almost had them at the drop of a hat getting over the line in that last sort of 5 or 10 minutes of the game against Forest Hill last week. Nunawading have shown really positive signs, like they're going to step up and make the mark to try and hit finals, but have then dropped games that they probably should have won. In this one, I reckon Park Orchards, coming off last week, I think they can win at home at Domini Reserve.
Park Orchards and Nunawading for you, Pete?
I think Park Orchards today, Nunawading, they've been great. Sam McCallum's been fantastic for them.
Awesome, yes.
But I don't know, Park Orchards, they've got that young mix there. They've got a lot of pace through their midfield. They're a young team. They're enthusiastic. I think they can get a win today, Ben.
It's going to be a fantastic game. Nunawading for mine, but it's going to be a close encounter. Surrey Park taking on Canterbury. 50, how many games now, Pete?
56.
56 games without a victory for Surrey Park. You get the feeling, though.
They're due.
They're due. Will it be this week against Canterbury? Maybe against Kilsyth next week. Let's just stick on this game for a moment. Surrey Park versus Canterbury. Canterbury for mine, just purely because they've got just a little bit more class and a bit more experience, I think, at the moment.
I don't want to see it because I'm on the boundary this afternoon thanks to Akira Urgent Care, yes. But I mean, if we see a downpour at Surrey Park, I reckon this game goes to a tussle. We saw it a couple of weeks ago with Park Orchards and Surrey Park. It went right down to a tussle. Surrey Park was there or thereabouts, but I reckon the weather will probably play in Canterbury's favour. Canterbury in a close one.
I don't know. I've got a feeling about Surrey Park today.
You always have a
feeling for the last 18 months.
Always have a feeling.
The reason being, Canterbury are that sort of football team that if they're not on their game 100%, they can drop games that everyone expects they can win.
Tony Rowe won't like you saying that.
He won't. But then Brent Isles isn't playing for them again.
Why? Why isn't he playing?
I don't know. I haven't heard. I haven't spoken to Tony, but I did speak to Andrew Toop yesterday.
Yes.
Toopy's up and about. This playing group they've probably had 6 or 7 of their best players. Some of their recruits they've picked up over the pre-season, missing going into games. Some of them are back this week. They're a better side than what they've been over the past few weeks. They've been able to kick some scores. I don't know. I'm going to still tip Canterbury, but boys, today might be the day. Record that because we can play it back on Wednesday night on the huddle if they get up.
I'm looking forward to playing that back as well. To seeing the man himself, Darren Sheen, just walking past. They are not small quadriceps at all. Looking forward to seeing him going about his business after 2 o'clock today. Eastern Lions taking on Kilsyth. Eastern Lions, a team that has teased us a little bit so far in season 2012. Kilsyth is a young side, really struggling so far in season 2012. But for mine, I think the Eastern Lions at Lewis Park, it's a unique home ground. I think the Eastern Lions will be able to get a victory today.
Very small ground. Played there in a final in about under 15s. It's a very, very small ground. I think the Eastern Lions are not a quality side in Division 4. I think they're a lot more quality than Kilsyth this year.
Yeah, I'm going to tip the Eastern Lions. I think they've earned a little bit of self-belief this year that they haven't had over the past few years. They started off the season very well, won a couple of games early on. Their past fortnight's been disappointing. I think they'll bounce back today. I'm going to tip the Eastern Lions. I think they should get a good win today.
Probably undoubtedly the game of the round in Division 4 this weekend is the Ferntree Gully Eagles taking on Forest Hill. We saw the Zebras first hand last weekend. They got there in the end. It wasn't convincing, but they got there in the end. The Shoulders boys look solid up there. Michael Cardamone continued his great form. Really like the looks of him. But for mine, Ferntree Gully Eagles are coming. They had a tough start to the year. I get the feeling with that good balance between youth and experience, that the Eagles might be able to get a victory today.
Yeah, a couple of top sides in the first 4 or 5 rounds or so. They've been there or thereabouts. Ferntree Gully haven't really shown too much promising, but I think from now on the draw really plays into their favour. And I reckon if they win this kind of sets up a bit of a steamroll effect for Ferntree Gully.
I think you're right on the money there, Dice. If you look at the 2 top teams in Division 4 this year, I think they're a class above everybody else. That's the Basin and South Belgrave. Ferntree Gully had the horror draw of drawing these 2 teams in rounds 1 and 2. Their form line isn't too bad if you take those games away. Everyone, I think, is going to drop games to teams like South Belgrave and the Basin. I think Ferntree Gully, they've got that really good mix, as you said. They've got guys like Hayden Lovett, Paul Giannopoulos, evergreen Paul Giannopoulos. He doesn't like me calling him the veteran. He had a go at me about it earlier in the week. But he's evergreen, as he said. He's leading them by example this year, really showing some of these young guys to play. Michael Topp's been fantastic for them as well.
Well, Taylor's bestie.
They're a good mix of youth and experience, and they should get over the Zebras today.
Yeah, Ferntree Gully for mine as well. Take your earplugs out to South Belgrave Recreation Reserve today, because it's the Battle of the Mountains. South Belgrave taking on Sylvan. Looking forward to this one. Ash Frowdy's back this week. Didn't play last weekend, but I saw him named full forward this weekend. So looking forward to seeing how many goals he kicks this afternoon. But Sylvan, I don't think will get anywhere near South Belgrave at the moment. They're in good form, the Saints, and I think they'll continue that this afternoon.
Yeah, look, they've learnt to restrict in 2012, something they couldn't do last year, Sylvan, and they're managing to hold sides down a bit more and be a bit more competitive. But I don't think, as you said, there's 2 top sides in Division 4, and South Belgrave's one of them. I reckon they'll get over the top reasonably easily at home.
Yeah, South Belgrave are that team. They've got the mix. They're just looking to take that next step. They're not so much reliant on Lucas Appleby anymore. Guys like Ari Shearer has been fantastic for them, providing additional option. Alex Bacon's coming back into the side last week. He's a mountain of a man as well. Probably he'll be right at home playing up in the mountains. They'll be shooing the billy goats off the ground up there today. A fantastic game of football today up in the hills between 2 traditional rivals. These 2 clubs have played each other for a number of years in the Yarra Valley Mountain District Footy League before both of them coming across now and joining the Eastern Footy League. I just think that Sylvan needed to name Ash Froud today, needed to come back in the side. They need that firepower to even consider themselves on a par of trying to match South Belgrave. I don't think it's going to happen. I think South Belgrave will win this one very, very comfortably, Ben.
The Basin have the bye, of course, in Division 4. Let's have a look at Division 3, of course. Heathmont and Glen Waverley Hawks, full coverage after 2 p.m. right here on EFL Game Day. A great game, though. I'm looking forward to seeing the result of this one. Ringwood versus Boronia. Ringwood have been a team that surprised a few in the past 3 weeks under new coach Josh Toohey. He's done some good things out there. Saw that James Katsialos is back in the lineup for Ringwood this week. However, I just can't go past Boronia. They just... I like the Hawks. They're a solid professional unit for a Division 3 club. They've kind of got Division 2 written all over them already. I'm not saying they're going to win the flag, but they've just got that feeling about them. And I think they'll prove that this afternoon.
Yeah, look, I mean, it's one of those games. Usually both these sides go into games with home ground advantage. Ringwood, Boronia playing at Ringwood. They both play on reasonably sized grounds. We know how well they play on those big grounds. They've been dominant at home so far this year. I just think Boronia, as I said, there's a class above in Division 3 as well, and that's North Ringwood and Boronia, and I reckon Boronia, but Ringwood to challenge, I think.
Yeah, I'm not 100% convinced yet on Ringwood. They did hold North Ringwood goalless in the last quarter last week.
That's pretty good.
That's the first time North Ringwood have been goalless since last year's grand final against Doncaster in any quarter. So that's a really positive effort for them. I don't think they'll be able to back it up against Boronia, though. Boronia are that other team that have really made a statement this year. They've come out, they're playing football. They want a challenge for a flag, and I think out at Tormore Reserve, Boronia should win this one, and I think it'll be quite comfortable, boys.
I think it'll be a fantastic game nonetheless. The third big game of Division 3, Mitcham versus Wanturna South. As I've said a number of times during the week, Mitcham they're playing with the EFL pundits out there. They're playing with their heads. I'm not sure what's going on with the Tigers, but they've got a good opportunity to bounce back after a good start of the year. A couple of disappointing weeks. Now a good opportunity to bounce back against the Wantana South side that looks to improve. But my hunch is the Tigers, but I'm not confident. The Devils did okay to push Heathmont to 4 points last weekend. Tigers from the line, but with no confidence whatsoever.
Yeah, look, this is another one of those games. The sides log-jammed in the middle of the ladder in Division 3 that seriously need to get a couple of wins in rounds sort of 4, 5, 6, 7 to really set up their season. I reckon Mitcham to do it at home, Pete.
Yeah, I'm going for Wantana South today, boys. I really like some of the guys that have come into their side and made a statement. Guys like Tim Lee at centre-half back's been fantastic. Had the big job on Darren Sheen last week. Really nullified his influence on the game. I thought he was fantastic for them. Michael Jamison's in great goal-kicking form. I just think Wantana South, they had a slow start to the year. They're just starting to get their mojo back. It was a very disappointing year for them last year. They wouldn't have carried a lot of confidence into the start of this year. They're starting to turn things around. I rate them as a final side in Division 3 this year.
Do you really?
Mitcham, though, I think their problem is self-belief. On paper, I think they're one of the top 5 sides in Division 3 this year.
Jeez.
I don't think they believe that, though.
Confidence side, yeah.
When they're playing their best footy, they can match it with anybody. But when they're at their worst, anybody can beat them. I just don't know whether they're going to have what it takes to get over Wanty South today. I'm tipping the Devils.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing the result of that game. Big game. Big game for Warrandyte as well. Top versus bottom. North Ringwood versus Warrandyte. But Warrandyte haven't been that bad in the last couple of weeks. They've had 2 close losses. They're thereabouts, but I think North Ringwood will show why they are top of the ladder today. North Ringwood by plenty. Dyson.
Yeah, look, 5 zip versus zip 5. I think North Ringwood reasonably comfortably at home at Combi.
Yeah, how many times can you throw out that adage about a credible loss? I'm sure Warrandyte supporters are sick of hearing it. They've been competitive, they just haven't got the points. Eventually that starts to play with the psyche of a team. They're looking for that next win. I don't think it's coming today. North Ringwood are a quality outfit and they should win this game today.
Whitewater Pioneers taking on Churnside Park. Great victory for Churnside Park last weekend against the Tigers, a game that most people didn't tip them to win, but they were able to get the chocolates in the end. Even though this game is... where is this game being played off the top of your head again, Pete? It's not because it's not Walker Park because, of course, Mitcham's at Walker Park today. It's down at Springfield Reserve, isn't he? Nunawading Reserve, something like that.
That's Kunung Reserve.
Kunung Reserve, that's the one. Kunung Reserve. So I think it's the first time the White Horse Pioneers have actually
White Horse Reserve. White Horse Reserve.
I think it's the first time they've played out there this year as well, and so it's a neutral territory for both of these teams. And if it's on neutral territory, Churnside Park for mine, they were pretty impressive last weekend. Dice.
Yeah, look, Churnside Park can really set up their season. Another side that's kind of sitting in that log jam. I mean, they are 3-2, but they win today. They've got games against Heathmont. They then tackle Wantana South and then Templestowe. So for a month of probably footy where they can maybe take 2 or 3 scalps and set their season up, Pete.
Yeah, the White Horse Pioneers, they've been used to in the past few years playing on that small ground out at Springfield Park. White Horse Reserve's not much bigger. It's a very small ground there, right beside the TAFE school there on White Horse Road in Box Hill. It's a small ground. I still think that Churnside, they're another team that's very hard to get a read on. At their best, they can match it with anybody. I think Brett Davidson today will make sure they don't drop this game. They can't afford to if they're going to challenge for a spot in that top 5. I think they'll get up and I think they'll have a win today.
Last game in Division 3 is, of course, Coldstream taking on Templestowe. A fantastic game, or a fantastic effort by Templestowe last weekend to bounce back against the White Horse Pioneers. Coldstream are a very, very hard team to read. They are a moody team. They're a very moody team. I think Templestowe will be able to get the chocolates today quite easily.
Yeah, look, this is one of those things that if it was at Porter Street, you'd say Templestowe by 10 goals. But I mean, you never know with Coldstream at home.
Don't know.
They can do whatever they want. I mean, this is one of those games where you can see Coldstream coming out and winning this one by 6 or 7 goals. But I think it'll be reasonably close. Templestowe just to get over the line.
Always tough playing out there at Arctic Park, Coldstream Reserve. It's going to be cold, wet and windy up there today. I still think, though, Templestowe, I've been all over them over the pre-season. I'm still on their bandwagon. Yep. They're up and they're about. They're starting to get a bit of their form back. I think they'll get right back a bit of that form today and should record a fairly convincing win against Coldstream.
Templestowe are a good side. You look at their team lineup and they got class everywhere. So I think they'll prove that today.
When you add guys like Alistair Quinn into the mix from last year, McGarmes is in good form. Troy Resentless has been tearing it up this year. Yes. You've got Paul Eccles up forward. They're a quality outfit right across the park, and I just don't know. They didn't click at the start of the year. They're starting to get a bit of that form back. A really big win today should really set them up.
Of course, you can text us anytime today throughout the broadcast, 0410 495 582. 0410 495 582. If you missed that number, bad luck, but you can pick it up on page 2 of your Eastern Footballer that you can pick up at the gate for $2.50. Very, very fine publication. 0410 495 582. And our camera's up and going on the video streaming at the moment. So www.efl.org.au. Check out the video streaming coverage on there. If you want to tell your friends, if you're listening on 98.1 Radio Eastern. Division 3 and 4 done and dusted, gentlemen. Now, Division 2, Bayswater taking on Donvale. Donvale being one of the better teams in Division 2 so far this season. What the heck happened last weekend? They drew with Doncaster East. Maybe Doncaster East were on their game. Donvale were a little bit off. Combination of both, who knows? I don't think it matters though. Donvale, I think, will bounce back against Bayswater today because I'm not 100% sold on Bayswater, despite Wayne McInerney's awesome goal-kicking form, Dice.
Yeah, look, winner of this game, I think, for me, sort of escalates themselves into finals contention. The other side is, especially if Bayswater get done today, they definitely drop back to the pack. I think I'm going to go with you, Benny. I reckon Donvale away from home.
I don't know. I'm on Bayswater today, boys. The 3 games they've lost have been against Roval, Montrose and Mirrabah. They're the 3 top teams in Division 2. I think they're a little bit like Ferntree Gully Eagles in Division 4. They've played some of those really top teams. They've had a bad start to the year. They weren't disgraceful last week. I was out at the game against Bayswater against Roval. In patches, they outplayed Roval, particularly in the second half. They looked a much better team, particularly in the last quarter. Roval were the better team all day, though. Don't mistake me there. And I know a few of the boys at Roval picked me up when I said that Roval weren't as good as Montrose when they got over the line against them. Roval were the better side last week. But at times, Bayswater looked really good. Joel Galvin started to get a bit of form back last week. He was great. They just need to get a few wins consecutive on the board, string a few together, and they'll start to push for that top 4 again. I'm tipping Bayswater to get over the line at the home of the EFL out at Bayswater Oval.
Yes, home of the EFL. Great ground out there. Doncaster East taking on Mulgrave. Doncaster East, as we said just before, got a draw last weekend. Mulgrave 0-5, but unfortunately... They've been close, Mulgrave, on a number of occasions, plenty of close losing margins. I get the feeling it's going to be another one of those days for Mulgrave today. They'll take Doncaster East right up to it, but at Zerby's reserve, I think the lines of the Doncaster East variety will be too strong.
Yeah, look, I reckon this is a chance for Mulgrave to push themselves off the bottom of the ladder. I reckon Mulgrave to get up on this one.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you, Dice. I think Mulgrave have got what it takes this year. Luke Parker's back into a bit of form for them, leading them by example. Hayden Skicko, a new recruit they've picked up, providing a bit of a target for him up forward. Kicks a few goals. I just think Mulgrave can bring up their first win for the year today against a Doncaster East side that's up and down. They're very hard to get a read on. They're the sort of team that likes to ride that roller coaster of wins, losses, draws, throw them all in the mix there. They had the draw last week. Today I reckon it's going to be a loss because I'm tipping Mulgrave.
Montrose versus Moorabah is clearly the game of the round in Division 2 this weekend. And, of course, Jeff Manalinsa will be covering that game for us right here on EFL Game Day. Thanks for Jeff's text as well off the SMS. Love the background noise of the raffle draw in the background. Unfortunately, I don't think any of our tickets won today, so a bit of a shame for the Eastern Football League media team. But nonetheless, he's going to be seeing a fantastic game out there today, Montrose versus Moorabah. Big opportunity for Montrose, but there's no reason to tip against Moorabah today. They're living up to all the pre-season hype, as you've been saying, Pete, and I think Moorabah will be able to do the job out there at Montrose today.
Just on an offside note, looking at the colour spread, hadn't seen Moorabah's clash jumper, the black jumper with the Mustang.
Have you seen the guy's glasses, though?
It's very sharp work from the Mustangs.
Yes.
I reckon, look, this is a toss of the coin. I think this is just like the Roval Montrose game a couple of weeks ago that Montrose went for 3.5 quarters, couldn't quite get over the lineup, but I think I'm going to go with Montrose at home to shake things up a little bit.
I don't know, Dice, we're on the same page today. I think Montrose... Moorabah have given us no reason to pick against them, but I'm going to give you a reason now. Every team this year that's been on fire in Frosty's thermometer has lost that week. I'm tipping Montrose today because Moorabah are the team on fire. That's the only reason. These two teams line up very well. They're very good mates, traditional rivals. These two clubs don't like each other very well. Having said that, Jai Goodman invited Scotty Demetrio around to his place for dinner last night. But so they're two of the prime movers for each of the two teams, sharing a bit of pasta on the night before a game. But I'm tipping Montrose. I think Adam Cook and their big forward, Billy Schilling, I think they'll provide too many headaches for the Moorabah defenders. Moorabah's first loss today, boys. Roval will be the only team undefeated at the end of this round.
You cannot keep putting your tips and sort of basing your tips on your own EFL article. That is a disgrace, Peter Baird. Moving on to the next game in Division 2, Upper Ferntree Gully taking on Doncaster. Good opportunity for Upper Ferntree Gully to bounce back after a pretty ordinary effort against the Barkers last weekend. Upper Ferntree Gully to win quite easily against the Sharks.
Doncaster haven't disgraced themselves this year in Division 2. They've been able to match it with some of the top sides. Having said that, Upper Gully will be very disappointed with their performance last week against Montrose. The Demons really outplayed them across every line. I reckon they'll be looking to hit back today, and I'm tipping Upper Gully to get over Doncaster.
I'm all over Upper Gully at the moment. I reckon they're the form side of Division 2 in terms of outside Mooroolbark, I suppose you could say. You can't go past a 5-and-zip side, but I think
there is another team that's 5-and-zip as well.
Good point. I just think that they're primed to probably finish 4 to 6 at the moment, and I reckon they're going to be one of those sides to just shake things up. I reckon reasonably convincingly Upper Gully this week.
That other team you talk about, Frosty, is of course your Roval Hawks, and they travel out to Mount Waverley Reserve today to take on the Waverley Blues, and I think this one could get quite ugly. Roval are clearly a class or two above the Waverley Blues at the moment, and with the likes of Nathan Hicks and Michael Bussey up forward, I think the Hawks will be too strong.
Yeah, look, a good chance for Roval to boost a bit of percentage. They currently sit at 139. Expect that to skyrocket this afternoon.
Yeah, Roval strengthened this week with the return of 2 key players, Jay Kinder and Scott Wilcox, make their way back into the senior team. Scotty Wilcox didn't play the second half of last year, out injured, and Jay Kinder, a fantastic
Massive
young kid, a huge forward presence he'll provide just to add to that Roval forward line. I think the Hawks will be looking to reclaim top spot. I think they've been stung with Mooroolbark knocking them off that top spot of the ladder this week, and I think they'll put on a very good showing out there at Fleet Street, Mount Waverley Reserve. Expect the Hawks to record a very, very impressive win.
Division 1, Croydon taking on Vermont in our first game. Looking at Division 1, of course, plenty of history in these two types. Very proud history. Just get the feeling though that Vermont, they haven't been too convincing. They've teased us, the EFL pundits, a fair bit this year as well. They got a victory over South Croydon last weekend by 10 points. Darryl Grant came into the EFL offices yesterday, of course, the president of the Croydon Football Club, and said, "Oh, we're getting there, Benny. We're very, very close," almost with a finger point right at my eyes. I couldn't quite believe him, though, because they're coming up against the Vermont side that I think will be keen to get a victory today. Eagles for mine.
75th meeting between these two sides. Croydon 20, Vermont 54. Croydon, of course, won the last one last year. I reckon that'll flip this week. I think Vermont to get over the line away from home. This is one that they desperately need, the Eagles.
Yeah, I think this Vermont, it's got, excuse me, a little bit too much class for them. Guys like Mullet, Mendez, Robbie Ross,
yes,
Jared Dalton, playing a bit of a switch role, playing at both ends of the ground.
Kicked 3 goals last week.
Forward and back, whatever role they need him to play. I think he might even go to the big Damien Cupido today.
That'd be a good matchup.
I just think Vermont, too much class. They should get over the line against a struggling Croydon side.
South Croydon taking on East Burwood. Peter MacArthur will be out there. Won't be covering it for us though. But South Croydon will be taking on East Burwood out there at Cheong Park. South Croydon close but no cigar last weekend. But East Burwood are the sexy team of Division 1 at the moment. Everyone is talking about the Rams, and why wouldn't you? They currently sit third on the ladder with 3 wins and 1 loss. And by the end of today, I think it'll be 4 wins and 1 loss.
East Burwood aside to 2 years ago, started well, finished poorly. Started poorly, finished strong last year, and they've continued that form this year. I reckon East Burwood reasonably convincingly this afternoon.
Yeah, I like the mix they've got in their midfield at the moment, East Burwood. Marcus Carroll's leading by example.
Yes.
Tom Miles has provided a great option for them, rotating through that middle. Anthony Mariani up forward.
He's been good.
He's the leading goal kicker in Division 1.
He is. I think they'll have too much today, and I'm tipping, although South Croydon, they've been very serviceable this year, is probably the best way to describe them. James Crowell has added that extra dimension to them up forward. They're not relying on the small forward in Michael King kicking all their goals, but I think East Burwood, they're on a roll at the moment. They're going to continue that this week. I'm tipping East Burwood over South Croydon.
2 grand final replays in the Eastern Football League today, of course, from 2011. We're out of Heathmont versus the Glen Waverley Hawks in Division 3, and the other one is, of course, in Division 1. Scoresby taking on Noble Park out there at Exeter Reserve. Of course, these 2 teams have met in the past 2 Division 1 grand finals. Looking forward to seeing the result of this one. Geez, I really like Scoresby. They're 4-and-zip. You know, they haven't been too convincing, but, you know, they got the job done. I just get the feeling, though, that Noble Park, it's a gut feeling that they're starting to just find themselves on the starting to find their measure on the field. Noble Park for mine, but in a very close encounter.
Noble need to win this one today. They're in very unfamiliar territory, Geelong style at the moment.
Yes.
Sitting in 6th spot and just teetering outside. They've got East Burwood next week, so if they lose this one, they go 2-4 after 6 rounds, and things are looking very dire. I reckon Scoresby to get up though.
Yeah, I'm going to tip Scoresby as well in this one, boys. Although they haven't been able to kick a really huge score this year, I think they missed Steve Pym up forward a little bit. They're relying on their very small forwards, guys like Kirby McConnon, to kick a match winner score for them. To compensate for that, they've been very stingy in letting score through at the other end. Only Knox has let through less. This year they've changed up their game plan a little bit under Scott White, Kings of the EFL. Is
that right?
That's the question. I don't know yet. They got a bit of their form back last week. They'll push Scoresby all the way. It'll be a close-scoring affair. I don't think we'll see a blowout. I don't think Scoresby's new game plan will allow for that anyway. I think Scoresby, only because it's at home. If this one was at the Pat Wright Senior Oval, I'd be tipping the Bulls, but I'm going to go Scoresby today out at Exeter Reserve.
Baldwin taking on Blackburn. Mr. Knox Club himself, Daniel Senchik, will be out there covering this game. Looking forward to hearing his report at half-time and full-time. Baldwin for mine. They're a good side at the moment. They currently sit second on the ladder. I don't think there's any reason why you would tip against them today. Baldwin for mine.
Bit of rivalry between these two clubs coming from the last 4 or 5 years since Baldwin have been in. I reckon Baldwin, they're on the move this year. They've picked up a few players. They've done what they needed to do in terms of trying to get up for 2012. I reckon Baldwin in this one pretty comfortably.
Yeah, been really impressed with Charlie Hendry over the last fortnight. We saw him in that big game against Norwood. Best on ground again last week. He's just really great form for them. Rennie Gilchrist as well, he's been fantastic. Luke Barker's providing an option for them. Really like Baldwin. I think they're up and they're about, and I think they should do a job on Blackburn today.
Knox taking on East Ringwood. This one is, of course, out at the Maroondah Reserve. Mount Dandenong Road. That's the one I'm trying to think, at East Ringwood Reserve. Knox are the best defensive team in the competition, but they're also the worst attacking team in the competition as well. East Ringwood are the 4th best attacking team in the competition. Looking forward to seeing the scoreline of this one more than anything else. I think East Ringwood are due for a win here. They sit second last. They've been good this year. Roos for mine.
Yeah, definitely. I reckon Knox will be wanting the rain to come early this winter. They just need to shut down sides on these bigger grounds in Division 1. If they can do that, I reckon they can maybe pinch a fifth spot as we head towards finals, and I reckon this will start off their season.
I've got a soft spot for the Falcons, and I'm still going to tip them today.
Is that right?
Having said that, I chatted with Bernie Deneen during the week. He rates themselves a very, very big chance in this game. He said if the boys turn up to play, we can pinch this one off a finalist from last year. I don't know if you can, Bernie. I told you that I thought you could, but I don't think you can. I think Knox and Johnny Knight's boys will get over the line.
Geez, I'm nervous about how
lowering him into a false sense of security almost.
Very nervous about how many coaches Peter Baird talks to during the week. I'd like to see your phone bill at the end of the month. Norwood taking on Lilydale as the final game in Division 1. Norwood for mine. Lilydale pretty disappointing last weekend. It's a Norwood a 1-point victory, but I think on paper they're a much better side than Lilydale. The Norseman for mine, Dyson.
Yeah, Norwood in a close one for me.
Yeah, I think you can't win games of footy kicking only 3 goals, which is what Lilydale did last week. When 2 of those came from one man in Nathan O'Keefe, they need to get more return out of him. He needs to kick 5 or 6 for them to be any sort of a chance. Norwood, though, Jakey Ford back into their best last week, provided a real pivotal role in the midfield. One game where we saw he wasn't at his best, they got beaten by Baldwin. So he's a key for them. Clayton's a good player for them through that midfield as well.
Brent English, good player as well.
He is. He provides that option, a booming left foot kick, as we saw out of that game at Baldwin. I think the Norwood will have too much firepower, too much class, and I think they'll get over the line today out at Mullum Reserve.
All 4 divisions done and dusted for you right here on the EFL Game Day. Waller, good work from you, Dyson Baker and Peter Baird. We're going to take our final break right here on EFL Game Day before we get stuck in to the big Division 4 Grand Final replay in Division 3. It is the Heathmont Jets against the Glen Waverley Hawks right here at H.E. Parker Reserve. The scene is set, and the bounce of the ball is only 10 minutes away. We'll come back after the break with all the coverage right here on EFL Game Day.
Brett Field and the team at Ferntree Gully Holden have some big news. For this year's 3-day sale, they're letting you tell them what you want. Starting this Friday, buy a new or used car and on top of scoring a great price, they'll throw in your choice of free window tinting, a $500 Coles Myer gift card, or $600 worth of free accessories. You'll also take home all of Holden's end of financial year extras, so get down to Ferntree Gully Holden this Friday through to Sunday and design a deal made just for you. Conditions apply. Offer only available between the 18th to 20th of May 2012. LMCT 443.
Program sponsor.
In desperate need of some windows, but your budget is too tight? Never fear, because the team at T&B Window Warehouse has the right solution for you. They're having a one-off sale, not to be missed, on Saturday the 2nd of June from 9 a.m. Thousands of surplus windows will be on sale, and you'll still have some change to finish off all those renovations. They're located at 120 to 124 Bayfield Road, East Bayswater North. Give them a call on 987277506. That's 87277506. T&B Window Warehouse, part of the EAL and AW Transport Group. Your number one in window transport.
Hi there, Hutchie here. Local community choirs, health and legal matters are what the Wednesday morning program is all about. Oh, and I nearly forgot, lots and lots of great melodies for you to enjoy. Now that's the recipe for great community radio on 98.1 every Wednesday with Hutchie, 9 till noon. Please join me.
20% makes a lot of difference. Imagine your team kicking 20% less goals and being 20% behind on the scoreboard. Actually, let's not. Now, imagine using a Breeze Tag account on Eastlink and getting a 20% discount on all weekend car trips. No need to imagine, it's for real. Open your account online at eastlink.com.au and get 20% off car trips all weekend, every weekend on Eastlink. Now, let's give my mate Ross 20% more stick for being 4 goals behind. Hey, Roscoe! Eastlink, it's time better spent, like at the footy.
Program sponsor. Kids eat free Mondays and Tuesdays for a limited time at Hog's Breath Cafe. Get out! When an adult dines at Hog's Breath Cafe, you also get a kids meal free. Select from any one of our special kids meal combos with a soft drink and ice cream. That's Hospitality. Mondays and Tuesdays for a limited time. So get in for our great kids meal deal. Kids eat free at Hog's Breath Cafe. Love you to join us. Call 1-800-HOGSTAR. Chadstone, Dandenong, Coringal, Knox Ozone, Water Gardens and Geelong. Come in and experience some Hospitality. Program sponsor.
On EFL Saturday, it's time for the match of the round. Let's cross to our team and go local for your footy.
Welcome out to HE Parker Reserve for the big Division 3 clash between Heathmont and the Glen Waverley Hawks today. My name is Ben Warren Smith. We're looking at a pretty picturesque, pretty big crowd out here at HE Parker Reserve. We know that the ground's pretty wet underfoot, been chopped up maybe a touch this morning. It was quite a wet evening, so we're looking for a pretty tough contest out here today between two of the sides that played in the grand final last year in Division 4, that famous drawn grand final out at Tormore Reserve that went to extra time with Heathmont getting up in that one. But both sides elevated into Division 3 this year. They've started really well, probably taken the competition a bit by surprise. And we really look forward to a close contest today. Joining me in the stats, he's had a 3-week hiatus, but it's great to have him back alongside as my wingman this afternoon. It's a very good afternoon to you, Grant Campbell. Turn your microphone on, mate.
I'll put my microphone on. Been 3 weeks and I've forgotten the simple things. It should be a great game today. In terms of quarters won, Heathmont have won 11 this season to Glen Waverley Hawks 10. There's not much difference in terms of their scores for. Scores against is the big difference. Glen Waverley Hawks averaging 92 points per game, and Heathmont only conceding the 66 points per game and haven't conceded 100 points. And you'd suggest that trend will probably continue today given the conditions. So it'll be interesting to see if Heathmont can stop those Glen Waverley Hawks forwards.
Fantastic work, mate. Doing a little bit of homework, that's what we like to see. Who is going to be your tip this afternoon?
I'm going to go for the home side, Heathmont. They've got a very formidable record at home in the last few seasons. If it was at Glen Waverley, I would have gone for them, but I'll go Heathmont by 3 goals.
Fantastic. Well, I'm not too sure who I'm going to pick just yet. I think I might be going for the home side. We're just getting a couple of more of the other commentary guys into position as I introduce a man who was on the pre-match program. We missed him on the Friday preview this week. Hopefully he'll be back very soon. It's a very good afternoon to you once again, Peter Baird.
Yeah, good afternoon, BWS. A huge game out here today. I'm going to tip the Glen Waverley Hawks today. I think they've got more to prove than what Heathmont do. I think they're looking to prove a point to themselves. Nobody else in the Eastern Football League, not supporters, not the media team, no one else, but they want to prove a point themselves that they can match it with the Heathmont Jets after the Jets pinch one that the Glen Waverley Hawks believe was rightfully theirs last year. I think they've got too much pace through the midfield. I think there's going to be a couple of key matchups today that'll really shape this game. Don't be surprised to see Big Fia Tutu go to the goal square to stand Darren Sheen. That's a bit of a tip I've got.
Where does he usually play Fia Tutu?
Normally plays as that running half back. running through the midfield, but don't be surprised to try and see him run around the big man in Sheen today, run off him at a full back. I think Mark Foote will take Lee Odermatt at centre half back. He's got a fantastic record against Odermatt there. So I just think that the Glen Waverley Hawks match up a little bit better. Some of the players they've got coming back into the side, I think they'll have too much today for the Heathmont. I think they should get a win.
Now, both captains aren't playing today, Pete. Of course, Chris Shaw from Heathmont and Andrew Azzopardi from Glen Waverley Hawks. Have we found out the reasons why in pre-match?
Yeah, Azzopardi, he told us that he's got a bit of a back niggle, a bit sore through the back. He's been wearing a brace all week. Didn't get up for today's game. We know he loves that big stage. I asked him, did he get sunburnt in the solarium when he knew that the media team was coming out today? He said to me, no.
Couldn't help yourself, could you?
I couldn't. Feathers Azzopardi loves that limelight. He would have been one putting up his hand to play on Odermatt, but I said I think Mark Foote will go to him. I'm not too sure about what's going on with Chris Shaw, why he didn't get up, but this is going to be a fantastic game today. Nothing between these two teams. When the final siren sounded in the Division 4 Grand Final last year, Heathmont claimed it in extra time. I don't think there'll be a lot between them today.
Oh, Peter Baird going for the Glen Waverley Hawks today. Joining me in the co-commentator's position is Brad Henderson, straight from a busy morning of work. It's a very good afternoon to you, Brad.
Thanks very much, Benny. A little bit quiet at work, actually, as it turned out, but very much looking forward to this game this afternoon. Quite a cosy little setup we have here, but not a bad vantage point on the half-forward flank of H.E. Parker Reserve, and very much looking forward to the grand final replay, and what a grand final it was last year in Division 4. Absolutely terrific finish to that game, went into extra time. Glen Waverley Hawks have a point to prove today to exact some sort of revenge. It's not the same, of course. It's not going to make up for losing that grand final, but 4 premiership points in the bank today would be very nice for them. Having seen Heathmont last week, though, I thought they were really impressive. And gee, there's some talent in this side. I don't think conditions, though, will allow them to play at their full capacity today, which will just let the Hawks in a little bit, but I'm still going to favour Heathmont.
Going for Heathmont today, Brad Henderson. Let's cross down boundary side to our Akira Urgent Care boundary riders this afternoon. We have Heathmont's very own Dyson Baker, and joining him for her first go on the boundary line in season 2012 is Victoria Halkias. Good afternoon to you. We'll start with you, Dice. How are you going today? Well, clearly the guys aren't organised and they're not even listening to me at the moment. So let's just continue on, I suppose. Can we cross back down to you now? I can hear them talking in the background. Are you there, Dyson? No, still having a little bit of trouble there. Well, we've pretty much gone through. It's going to be a tough game. I know everyone's gone through their reasons why they think that either side will win. Heathmont this year have been realistically the surprise packet, and I find it really strange, Peter Baird, that you're not actually going for them today, especially down at home. They had a terrible week a fortnight ago, but returned to the winners list last week. Their season's virtually been flawless, and I can't go past them today. The fact that Mickey Aitken comes back into the side last week, it just opened up Sheeny. It took a little bit of pressure off Sheeny, I suppose, in the end. You know that Aitken will be the lead-up target this afternoon. He'll be the one making all the leads. Probably Sheen will drop back, and in those one-on-one contests, he's really stands strong, and he's a really hard guy to beat. I just think they're going to have too much firepower up forward. Their midfielders in Hickey and Odermatt have been in super form, and their delivery inside 50 is only going to work well for them today. So I can't go past the Jets at home.
You're not convincing me, BWS. I'm still very, very partial to the Glen Waverley Hawks today. Having said all that, I think guys like Jack Hancock, Carl Schoenmakers, Brad Hunter add an extra dimension to the Glen Waverley Hawks that you guys might not have seen yet this year. They've got a blistering pace through that midfield. They've got key position players that can match it. Don't even be surprised to see Matt Carnelli move into the midfield today and play a bit of a role up there. One area that I think Mick Gall can match it, or can take it away from Heathmont, is through body pressure. Don't be surprised to see the Glen Waverley Hawks play a very physical brand of footy. And I'm not talking about going the knuckle. I'm talking about attacking the ball carrier, making them earn their kicks. I think that's where the Glen Waverley Hawks, with their bigger bodies, have the edge today over Heathmont.
Okay, fair enough. Let's cross down boundary side. We've finally got them to Dyson Baker and Victoria Halkias. Good afternoon to you guys.
Yeah, very good afternoon to you, BWS. Really excited about this one, obviously. I was listening to it on the Heathmont website a couple of weeks ago, the grand final from last year, and a few tense moments, let's just say. Hopefully not like that. The one side can get away over another this afternoon. I reckon Heathmont just in this one, probably close to 2 goals. No breeze really out here in reasonably wet conditions. Victoria?
Dyson, I'm going to have to agree with you. It's a home game for Heathmont, and they're second on the ladder, so I think they might win this one today.
Now, I hope that Dyson Baker, Victoria, has been kind to you today and given you the choice of side that you'd like to follow out there, because we know that he wants to do Heathmont. Have you given him a little bit of a let-off, and you'll be looking after Glen Waverley today?
Yeah, I'll let him take Heathmont today, so he'll be happy with that one, I think.
Thank you very much to Victoria and Dyson down on the boundary side. Thanks to Akira Urgent Care, we're almost ready for a start here in the big clash. It's round 6 in Division 3. It's a grand final replay from Division 4 last year. It's the Heathmont Jets taking on the Glen Waverley Hawks, and to take the game away, the accurate one, Brad Henderson.
Siren sounds, Ben, to get us underway in the first quarter. And it should be a great contest. Darren Sheen standing there full forward. Looking forward to getting plenty of supply today as the ball's brought out at the middle. Looks as if the Hawks are going to go forward first. Handball was shot out to McGee. Very high kick by Wayne McGee, deep to full forward. Forsyth worked his way back. Tried to spoil for Heathmont. Now soccer's off the ground. A lot of players over the footy, and the umpire doesn't let him go too long before he elects to call it up. Daniel Baker in the ruck for Heathmont. And Baker, of course, last week against Wanturna South was had to step up in the last quarter of that game when Heathmont lost their ruckman, Mehmed Bektas. Baker's short pass on to Hickey. So Heathmont deep in defence at the moment. Anthony Hickey swings the kick up towards wing position, and the mark is safely held there by Broadbent. Luke Broadbent goes short, has a teammate on and finds him. It's Darren Paul. Paul, wing position, kicks out into open space. Odermatt was the target, shot a pretty slick handball out. The Hawks come out of defence though, up towards Gray. Danny Gray, the big fly, couldn't take the mark.
Free kick to Heathmont.
Yeah, unrealistic attempt to mark on that occasion was the way the umpire saw it. Free kick goes to Paul. Darren Paul's kick, but it's fallen short this time. Chopped off by Wayne McGee for the Hawks. McGee's kick honours the long lead there by big Rob Davies. Davies will swing onto his trusty left foot. Does so now. Lovely pass. And he's hit a teammate on the chest in Carnelli. So a chance for the Hawks to get their first goal of the game here. Glen Waverley looking to get off to a bit of a flyer, as you'd expect. There's the kick at goal, and it's drifted across the face of goal just for a minor score. So first score of the game goes to the Glen Waverley Hawks, and they lead at 1 behind. Heathmont are yet to score.
We saw my mail there right on the money with Fia Tutu lining up at fullback on Darren Sheen, and Mark Foote taking Leo Odermatt at centre-half back.
Peter Baird's first special comment was to give himself a pat on the back. Heathmont comes inside. Villani got the ball. They're moving in towards the middle of the ground now. The Jets, it's streaming out and taking a decent mark for Glen Waverley is Brad Hunter. So just looking for a few short options. The kick was pretty sloppy. We might find the target. No, ball was spoiled. Kick back up towards the half-forward line for Heathmont. It's going to paddle towards the boundary line. You'd expect it to go over right in front of us here on the boundary side. And it does. So about 65 metres out from the Heathmont goals. Glen Waverley have got the first score on the board. The umpire to ball it in. It's taking a little while here. We like to get the game started quickly. Throw in this time. Weird that Odermatt went up in that one. He nearly got the ball at the bottom of the pack. There was Foote, tried to squeeze it out. Charging hard was Villani for Heathmont. He could have got a free kick for his head being ripped off. The umpire said no. We'll have a bounce. About 65 metres out from the Heathmont goals. They're yet to go inside 50. Keno versus Odermatt. Odermatt will give that one to Grant as the ball skittles towards the boundary line. Well picked up there that time by Tim Cook. Kept the ball alive and earned a free kick. That was good play. So Cook wants to get the ball moving. That's the right way to go about things. Kicks it up towards the wall, half-forward line. Irvine was front and centre. That was good play. Scramble to kick up towards the half-forward line. Running on was Jack Hancock. Can he get boot to ball? He can't. good smother, and the ball goes over the boundary line and out of bounds right in front of the Glen Waverley bench. How are you seeing this start, Peter Baird?
Yeah, both teams looking to try and get that early ascendancy, just feeling each other out at the moment, a little bit scrappy at times.
Dan Baker, they're sharing the ruck duels this afternoon. Heathmont early in the piece. We're going to have a bounce. So the ball's now edged up towards the half-forward line of the Glen Waverley Hawks. Height of bounce. Once again, Keno, double fister over the back. Who's going to be the first to meet it? Will Villani for Heathmont's been lively early. Can players get boot to ball? Charging through was Riddle. Good play by Riddle. Kicks it up towards the forward line. Davies had front spot, couldn't quite get it. They've still got numbers at the ball coming down. Is Riddle, can he get it? No, good play there that time by Luke Broadbent. And they're going to switch now, the Jets, as they go across the half back line. 3 handballs now. Can they get the ball up towards the wing position? The lead comes on from Odermatt. He made terrific space, did Odermatt. You know he's going to swing around on that left boot. Does so now, kicks it up towards the Aitken direction. He's the target in this one. Mickey goes up one bite, couldn't quite bring it down. Charging through for your 2-2. Great tackle there along with Brad Hunter. Good work by the Heathmont Jets to keep the ball in there by both sides, really. Lots of pressure. And we'll have a bounce about 40 metres out from the Heathmont goals, currently trailing by 1 point. And the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, 2-2 at the back of the pack, just charges through, gets a little handball away. Who's going to be the first to meet it? It was George for Heathmont. Wanted to go backwards. Ball still out there. Hickey's been in great form early in this season. Hickey still paddling it to his advantage. That was terrific bit of play. Ball still right near that boundary line. It may go over, and it does now. Brad Hunter doing it. So we've gone about 5 minutes here in the first term. On the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, it's Glen Waverley 1 behind. Heathmont yet to score.
Yeah, slow start by both sides, really. And just the one behind on the board thus far as Heathmont get a quick clearance from the stoppage. Chopped off there by Walker. Thumping kick out towards the boundary. Ball was intended there, I think, for Zickman, but it bypassed him. Shuffled on now. Heathmont take possession. Broadbent usually uses the footy pretty well, but this time he's turned it over. Mark safely taken by Walker. Walker out into a lot of open space where Rob Davies tries to take possession. Does well so done. Now. Davies does really well. Tried a very intricate little kick around the corner. Got it on to his teammate there in Irvine. And Rob Davies there, probably not his go, those little careful kicks like that.
Grant Campbell, thanks to Choose Tap Match Stats.
Contested possessions, 15-6 in favour of Glen Waverley Hawks.
Fisted out of the air by Sheriff. Went with the big double fister. Aaron Riddle took possession, tried to give it to his brother Brad. Free kick's been paid. It's going to John O'Knudsen. Kicks out into Sindri in open space. He always seems to find a lot of open space, David Sindri. Runs his full measure this time. Loves patrolling that wing here at H.E. Parker Reserve. And for some reason, opposition sides often give him a lot of latitude on that wing.
I think the conditions are playing havoc with the boys out there today. A lot of them going to the ground, losing their feet, particularly when it gets out wide near the boundary line. Not sure how wet and soft that is underfoot.
Boundary throw in. About to take place. Big disco Danny Keno up against Darren Sheen in the ruck. That'll be a great battle today. And obviously Sheen won't do most of the ruck work for Heathmont, but when the ball's in the Jets forward line, he's the man for the moment. A bit of aerial ping pong that time. A lot of players got hands to the footy. Hickey now puts his body over it. Did he get a push in the back from Walker? The umpire said no. Ball somehow was scrounged out of the pack up towards wing position now. Heathmont take possession. Broadbent got it from Forsyth. Broadbent's hurried kick around the corner. And he's found a teammate, but it was over the line, so out of bounds on the full. Free kick will go to Wayne McGee for the Hawks, who just elects to go in very short. Doesn't quite reach Keno, but Keno had plenty of time. His pass was dropped by Walker. Gives it to Brad Riddle. High handball was intercepted by Himmerman. It was a good tackle on him. Brad Riddle tries to redeem himself, takes possession now. Sends it forward for the Hawks. It's all Heathmont though. They come out of defence. Lovely pass to George. Clinton George's kick. Tried to measure it. Came off hands to Clark. Kevin Clark's kick was clever for Odermatt. And Odermatt this time outpoints his opponent, Mark Foote, and takes the mark. And if Lee Odermatt can kick the footy the way he was last week for Heathmont, you'd back him in from here.
Not much talking there between the two Glen Waverley Hawks players. The big ruckman, Danny Ken, on the other man. They both went for the mark. One of them should have stayed down and talked.
Odermatt, not his most confident kick. It started right, it stayed right, never really came back on that occasion. And first score for the Jets, a behind kick by Lee Odermatt, who was best on ground last week with 4 goals against Wantirna South.
Some more stats, Grant Campbell, thanks to Choose Tap.
The inside 50s are now 4 apiece. Kicks 19 to 18 in favour of Glen Waverley.
So scores are level here. Gone 12 minutes here in the first term. He hunted to bring it in for the Hawks. Just sort of fooled everybody. Went for the long pass, but then went short chip to 2-2. Takes it across the half back line. Wants to get the ball moving. Does so. Kicks it up towards the half-forward line. Where's the ball going to go now? It's going to go in the way of Glen Waverley. Can they chip it over the top? Running onto this one is Corey Walker. If the ball can just stay inside the line, it does. He has to be tricky, and he is. Walker on the left boot goes inside 50. Can the pass be good? It can't be. And I think that's Baker there at the last line of defence to kick the ball. He's got players running. Will Villani. This is where he likes it out on the wing. If he's quick enough to pick it up, he does so now. Villani kicks it up towards the half-forward line. Good spot too, because he found Clark. Clark in the three-quarter long sleeves. Wants to get the ball moving. He ran way too close to the man on the mark there. Tried to swing around on his left. His second effort was okay. But also terrific work there by Clint Walker to lay the smother. So we'll have a boundary throw in right in front of the Heathmont bench.
Interesting so far, BWS. Neither side really using that central corridor. Both teams pushing out wide, trying to run the ball through the wings and flanks.
Umpire balled it in. It was a good one too. Over the back of the pack, Barling was the first one to meet it. Nearly got his head ripped off by Keno. It comes out towards Zickman. His kick was a scrambler. Still got a valuable 10 metres or so. But the umpire's plucked out a free kick. Holding the man it will be, and it'll be a free kick to Heathmont. So players still just trying to find themselves in this first turn. The kick up towards Odermatt, and he comes out and takes a good mark. He thought he might have gone for the knee in the back and the screamer there, but he didn't need to do it. He kicks it towards the Sheen direction, and out comes Sheedy. It takes a good, strong mark overhead, probably about 40 metres out from goal, and he'll be looking to kick his side's first goal, or either side's first goal of the afternoon with his first possession.
Yeah, 2 strong marks there from their 2 key forwards in Sheen and Odermatt, and it sets up their first shot on goal.
So Darren Sheen in the long sleeves this afternoon. Usually such a good set shot at goal, and that is no exception. Straight through the middle goes the goal for Darren Sheen. That's his first. That's Heathmont's first as well. And at the 15-minute mark of the first term on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, the home side are 1-7. Glen Waverley Hawks 1 behind.
Yeah, very fluid ball movement then from the Heathmont Jets there. They picked out, stuck for words, picked out their 2 key forwards, able to find them both in succession. When they do that, they're going to be very dangerous, and it's going to give them a great, fantastic avenue to goal.
6-point lead for Heathmont. Their first goal kicked there by Darren Sheen, who now moves on to 25 goals for season 2012. And he is out front of the Division 3 goal kicking table at this stage. Umpire tosses it up. Bit of interference. Free kick has gone against Danny Keno then.
Kicking in danger it was. He's not happy about it.
Yeah, no, he's not. He's protesting quite vociferously as Baker takes the free kick. Kicks to Broadbent, driving kick, looking for Sheen. Aiken took front position, just floated in from the side then, Mickey Aiken, and took a lovely mark. How dangerous, Frosty, does that Heathmont forward line look with Sheen, Odermatt and Aiken? It's they can't match up on all of them really with opponents who are going to be able to do the job. You just think at some stage that Jets forward line will burst clear. There's the kick by Aitken, but he's across the face and a minor score.
The key to that bit of play, boys, was all the Glen Waverley Hawks defenders there were very conscious of Darren Sheen and freed up Mickey Aitken to take the mark and gave him that option at goal.
Hard to believe that this forward line just kicked just 3 goals in a game 2 weeks ago in their big loss to Baronia.
That is tough to believe, and they've just got so many options. I'm not sure whether Mickey Aitken played that day, though. Come into the side since then. He's given them that extra target.
Walker to bring the ball back in for Glen Waverley now. Go straight down the middle. That's what they've done each time. Across the half-forward line, overrunning it was Grasby. It's okay. Good tackle. Great tackle there by George to keep it alive. Grasby on the left boot, kicks it to the top of the square. Aitken take two. Can Big Sheeny get down there as well? No. Glen Waverley clear the ball now. Still going to be in their defensive 50. Good forward pressure by Nathan Parker to fist the ball over the line. So we'll have a boundary throw in right in front of the bar here, right in front of the members' side. So Heathmont looking for their their second goal. The scoreboard's quite hard to read. The council need to get onto this and give the club some money and get a new one. As Sheen scoops on the ball, nearly could have got a push in the back. It's still about 40 metres out from goal. Odomat charged in. But Waverley got a nice little handy kick off the ground. It's still on that defensive 50. Nicely picked up that time there by, I think that was Lang, into the middle of the ground. This time it's Goody. Kicks inside 50 for Heathmont into the Aitken direction. He was double teamed that time, and Tutu's going to run the ball over the boundary line and out of bounds right near that particular scoreboard, which currently reads 8-1 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. So we'll have a boundary throw in. Stoppages are taking quite some time this afternoon. Would you agree, Brad?
No, I absolutely agree.
Umpire to bring it in now.
Yep.
Quick kick out. Trapped by Parker. Just wanted to bang it on his boot. It wasn't too successful. Walker's out on the far side of the ground if he can keep it in for Glen Waverley. It was good pressure. The Jets are still keeping this ball alive. They're going to get another free kick. I'd like to hear the free kick totals thanks to Choose Tap, Grant Campbell.
6-2 in favour of Heathmont now.
You definitely got the feeling that they've had it with the umpires the way.
Well
and speak of a man who's played a great first term already is Lee Oderman. He's got players screaming for it in Grasby across the half-forward line. He just wants to go to the Twin Towers, up towards Sheenan, over the back of the pack, and the big fella get down. Great paddling work on a snap-on goal. That was clever by Darcy Grasby. Banged it on his left boot, and he puts through his side second on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, and they move to 2 goals, 2-14 Heathmont. That's a nice little handy lead now as we cross the 16-minute mark of the first term. Glen Waverley are just one behind.
Fantastic second effort there from Darren Sheen. Wasn't able to take the ball in the marking contest, but when he went to ground, was smart enough to see his man out free, tap the ball out to him, who was able to reward him duly when putting the ball onto the boot and putting through Heathmont second.
So second goal on the board for Heathmont, kicked by Darcy Grasby. And he was calling for it for a long time, as you mentioned, Ben, when Odermatt had the footy, but Grasby just followed on and was right there for Darren Sheen to paddle it, made sure of the goal. Might get a comment at some stage, hopefully, from Dyson, who obviously sees a lot of Heathmont about Darcy Grasby. I saw him last week and really impressed with just his commitment, his attack on the footy, the way he hits a contest. He's a very committed, wholehearted footballer, Dyson.
Yeah, definitely very right there, Brad Henderson. A bit of a pocket rocket, can really shake the game. He's one of those guys that proves inconsistency, but when he's on his day, he's on his day.
Just on our boundary riders, we might get you to chase up who's got the number 37 Guernsey out there for the Glen Waverley Hawks.
And number 12.
And number 12 as well. So Odermatt's high kick, front position was owned there by Hunter. And Brad Hunter safely takes the mark defensively for the Hawks. Kicks it out towards Brad Riddle at half back.
Great smother.
Smothered off the boot of big Josh Gray. Great work there by Burns for the Jets. And it'll be a boundary throw in.
Grant Campbell, thanks to Choose Tap match stats.
Heathmont have had 35 kicks and only 7 handballs, so certainly opting to put the ball onto their boot more than hands.
Hickey takes possession, bursts clear, broke the tackle. Kick probably wasn't his best. The Hawks' defence under siege at the moment. McGee tries to soccer it off the ground. Now, was he interfered with? Umpire said no. Barling applies a strong tackle. They win the footy. Hickey backpedals with the handball to Baker. Not Baker's kick, though. It was intended there for Grasby, or maybe Aitken. But in the end, the Hawks' defence stood tall. And a nice spoil by Nathan Parker to force a boundary throw in, getting the fist in there against Corey Walker. Parker, one of 2 changes for the Jets for this game, coming into the side. Kevin Clark was the other inclusion. And they lost Mehmed Bektas from that side last week, as well as Rob Savoury. Quick kick around the corner was by George. Fia Tutu takes the mark though, comes out of defence for the Hawks. Kicks towards the middle of the ground. We've got another free kick. It will go to Broadbent
Boundary
for the Jets. Let's cross boundary side.
Hi, Ben. Dean Ridquist is actually number 37, but is listed as 27. And number 12 is Shone Makers for Glen Waverley.
Oh, beautiful work. Thanks very much. As the ball up at centre half forward now. The Jets clear. Bit of a floating kick into open space. Sheen takes possession now. Fires at the goals. Great goal by Darren Sheen. Saw the goals inside and he was going to have a shot. Aitken was there in the goal square, but Sheen said, I can do it myself. Puts it through, and big Darren Sheen's got his second on the board. Goal number 26 for the season for the big Heathmont full forward.
Very ominous signs here for the Glen Waverley Hawks. The real difference between the two teams at the moment is the Heathmont Jets are much clearer with their first possession at the ball. They not seem to be as fumbling and under as much pressure as when the Glen Waverley Hawks get their hands on the ball. That's what caused the turnover then. A couple of Hawks players had the opportunity to take clean possession. The ball went to ground. Heathmont players swooped on it. Sheen, great first grab at the ball, able to slam it onto the boot and put through his second.
Ball back in the middle of the ground. It's Hunter versus Baker. It was Baker that got that knocked down. Can Heathmont get another clearance? Hickey got a quick handball out there, moving nicely around the world. Heathmont as they go inside 50. The target's going to be Sheen again, and why wouldn't it be? 2-2 over the back of the pack. Fists it away and rushed through in the end for one behind by Lee Odermatt. So quick score again to the Jets. They moved the ball really fast out of that middle centre clearance. On the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, they moved to 3 goals, 4-21. It's a 20-point lead here. Glen Waverley got the first score on the board for the afternoon. Haven't troubled the scorers since. Pi's going to tell them to move the ball along now. They seem to be kicking it to that same direction every time. Baker put his body on the line, had the front spot, and then banged it inside 50, looking for Mickey Aitken. One bite, couldn't nearly pull it down. In there's Clark. He's a clever player. Swings around on the left. Can this one go through? The wind's working it back. No. The ball actually still stays alive. Sheeny goes for a fresh air shot out of nowhere. That was very acrobatic by the big man, but he's given away a free kick in the process. And it'll be Mark Foote to clear it. Gets it to 2-2. Put his teammate under a bit of pressure, but they had time. Still in the defensive arc for Glen Waverley as they try to clear the ball out now. Kick up towards the wing position. Where's this going to go? Who's going to be the front spot? That was okay. Walker swings around, bangs it on the boot up towards the half-forward line. Davies is there. Can he put his body on the line? He was in the front spot, but he was triple team streaming through now. Who got tackled there was Darcy Grasby. The ball keeps moving on. A nice handball out there by George to his teammates' advantage, and now they're up towards the half-forward line. If they can just manage to find the target, I think the boundary line's going to beat everyone. It will. So it's a 20-point ball game as we cross to Grant Campbell, thanks to Choose Tap.
Side 50s 15-6 in favour of Heathmont, and they've actually had 13 of the last 15.
So it'll be Singh versus Baker. Big throw in that time, comes over the back of the pack. Left foot kick up towards the half-forward line. Grasby's got the front possession. Ball just mongrelling along the ground. Is he up to the task? He's not, because right on his hammer that time was Ryquist. Kick up towards the wing. It now becomes a foot race once again. Who's going to scoop on it? Great tackle. Nearly could have been paid in the back. Grasby. His efforts have been great in these last 2 minutes or so, covering end-to-end. Clark's going to be the first one to meet this on the half-forward line. He expected. Coming in really hard was McGee, but he didn't pack it to the opposition's advantage. This is Anthony Hickey, just absolutely crunched by Walker. Brilliant effort by Clint Walker, and he's rewarded with a free kick. So Walker kicks the ball. Wing position now. A little shove out there by Davies. He's going to give away another free kick. What's that total at, thanks to Choose Tap?
9-4 now.
Forsyth going to get a 25-metre penalty too. Davies not impressed that was paid against him. So Forsyth is brought up to the wing. He kicks an absolute shocker, but it's going to bounce safely inside the line. So he gained about 40 metres or so. Right in front of us here, right in front of the bar and the members. It's a place to be out here at H.E. Parker Reserve. Great crowd. Watching two great sides who have entered Division 3 this year as the umpire balls it in. Sheen got the front spot. Can he tap it down? He does. Who's in there? George at the bottom of the pack. Also is Aaron Riddle. The umpire will come in and bounce. Time on in the first term. It's 20 points the difference. It's the home side that have the advantage. We've noticed that it is wet underfoot. Singh versus Odermatt, who just came in and banged it away, got it over to Sheen, classy, gets it to Clark on the left boot. Can he swing it around? No, it looked like it was going in for a little while. Just push it to the right-hand side, so another minus score. Heathmont moved to 3 goals for 22 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. 21-point lead over the Glen Waverley Hawks. We've gone 23 minutes.
So dangerous in that situation, Kevin Clark, and if he gets too many opportunities like that one, he will kick a few goals today because he's got great goal sense and he's very damaging left foot, both general field kicking but especially around goals. As the ball comes back in, 2-2, takes the mark. Big Fia 2-2, sends it towards a teammate in the middle. This is promising, probably best build-up so far from the Hawks.
Got to be holding. And
Kick
it is.
to the pocket. It is a free kick. It will go to Glen Waverley.
Matt Carnelli.
And it will be in the pocket there, so free kick going to Matt Carnelli. Can he manage from this position? Pretty quiet grand final last year until the latter stages. Had a great battle in that grand final with Kieran O'Driscoll. Carnelli fires at the goals.
Bang.
Kick looks very good off the boot. No mistake. First goal, much needed goal as well on the board for the Glen Waverley Hawks. Kick by Matt Carnelli, and just across boundary side quickly. We might get our Victoria on the boundary. See if you can chase up who's got number 26 for the Glen Waverley Hawks.
Thanks to Akira
well.
Urgent Care.
The difference between that bit of play and the way the Glen Waverley Hawks have been playing so far is they've prepared to move the ball down the corridor that time. The long kick out to 2-2, who looked to deliver the ball straight to centre half forward. That quick ball movement allowed them to get the ball down there before the Heathmont Jets fight it back. Much more promising play for Glen Waverley Hawks.
Ball back in the middle. Keno versus Baker. Keno got the knockdown. That was good play. Charging through. That time was Riddle. Got it across to the half forward line. He backed it up too and got another possession over the top. Having a shot at goal is McGee. Can he make it 2 in a minute? He can for the Glen Waverley Hawks. Here they come in time on junk time. That's their second goal, and on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, very important too because they only trail by 9 points now as Heathmont are 3 goals for 22. 2-1-13 are the Glen Waverley Hawks. Good couple of minutes, Pete.
Certainly is, and I'll be interested to get this stat from Grant Campbell then, but the beauty of winning a centre clearance and getting it straight down to the forward line once again. What are those centre clearances at the moment, Grant?
3-2 in favour of Heathmont.
So before that it was 3-1.
That's quite correct. Very important, as you just saw there.
Boundary.
It's crossed down boundary side thanks to Akira Urgent Care to Victoria Helkias.
Number 26 is Ryan Lepore.
Can they get another clearance? They will. Riddle again, bust his way through and kicked it up towards the Davies direction. He's going to swing around on the left boot, brushes one off, swings around now on the left. Can he bring it back? It's coming, it's coming, it's maybe touched on the line. I think this has gone through. It's 3-2 minutes to the Glen Waverley Hawks. And hasn't this game just heated up in the last moment or so as it's 3 goals apiece and it's only 3 points. The difference, Peter Baird.
Fantastic commentary there, BWS, but it's always been a trait of the Glen Waverley Hawks. They can kick goals in a hurry. They can really come at teams, and we've seen that in the last few minutes here. But once again, that pivotal centre clearance. Once they start to win the centre clearances, they look like a much better team, and when they move that ball directly straight down the middle of the ground to goal, they're much more damaging and attacking.
Yeah, great goal, that last one by Rob Davies. It's back to just 3 points the margin. Back into the middle. Quick kick. Came clear from Walker. High up and under kick. Good fist provided by Burns that time. Paul does well. Burrows in. It was Graysby, in fact, who provided the bump. Tries to whip out a handball. And the boundary line was too close on that occasion. 3 points the margin. Darren Sheen to contest this ruck hit out. So he's a long way from home at the moment. Fisted away by Keno. Burns seemed to almost throw it out. Umpire let that go. Villani went to ground. High handball. Knocked on by Burns. Sheen soccers off the ground.
Clever.
Goody takes possession for the Jets for Heathmont. High kick by Lachlan Goody. Marked on the chest by Will Villani. Wing position here for Heathmont. Long lead by Odermatt was offered, and it was honoured there by Villani. And Lee Odermatt will have a shot after the siren for his first goal of the day. certainly within kicking range. Not too much of an angle to speak of. Pretty confident approach. He's not wasting too much time. Runs very close to the man on the mark. Odermatt's kick just tugged it to the right, and a minor score there for Heathmont. And at quarter time, the Jets lead 3 goals 5-23 to the Glen Waverley Hawks 3-1. 19, 4-point lead to Heathmont at quarter time.
Very reminiscent BWS of that grand final last year where we saw Heathmont jump out of the blocks and the Glen Waverley Hawks coming at them all day, but unfortunately unable to get over the line.
It's all happening at H.E. Parker Reserve. Get down here for the big Division 3 clash today. Stay tuned after these messages. We'll be back with Ben Waterworth with all the around the ground scores right here on EFL Game Day.
Brett Field and the team at Ferntree Gully Holden are offering some great end of financial year extras, including 1 free standard service, 2 years extra warranty, and 3 years extra roadside assist. But the team wanted to go one step further during their 3-day sale. From this Friday through to Sunday, score up to $600 in additional extras with the purchase of any new or used car. So get down there to pick up a great deal and a truckload of free extras. Only at Ferntree Gully Holden. Conditions apply. Offer only available between the 18th to 20th of May 2012. LMCT 443.
Program sponsor.
Radio Eastern 98.1. It's 18-3. This is Barry Gotts here in the studio this afternoon, and let's check AFL scores. And the game being played today is between Hawthorn and Fremantle down there in Tasmania. It's the end of the first quarter, and Hawthorn lead. Hawthorn 2-4-16 lead Fremantle 3 behind 3 points. Goal kickers for Hawthorn, Bruce and Roughhead at 1 each. And obviously no scorer for Fremantle. And the other game being played today is between Port Adelaide and North Melbourne. It's about halfway mark through the second quarter, and Port Adelaide 5-1-31, leading North Melbourne 4-4-28, so close game there. Goal kickers for Port Adelaide, Schultz has 3 and also 1 to Ebert. And for North Melbourne, Rennie has 2 and Swallow and Warren have 1 each. Now, do you have sudden fever, aching body, sore throat, chills, nausea, headache, dizziness? It sounds like you need medical assistance urgently. It's difficult getting an immediate appointment with your GP when you need care first. So come to Akira Urgent Care, where you don't need an appointment and you won't have to wait. They're Australia's first walk-in medical and emergency clinic. Walk in at 157 Scoresby Road, Baronia, or phone them on 9839 3333. That's 9839 3333. Akira Urgent Care. Your health, your destiny.
In footy, the best players always get tagged. In Melbourne, the best and cheapest way to get around the tollways is to get your car tagged. That's because a Breeze account works on Eastlink and it works on CityLink too. A tag's also the cheapest way to use Eastlink and CityLink. So open your Breeze account online at eastlink.com.au and start winning as a tagger today. Speaking of winning, my team's a sure thing for 4 points today and maybe the premiership. Come on up, that was in the back. Eastlink, it's time better spent, like at the footy.
Program sponsor.
Every day's a great day on Radio Eastern. And on Wednesdays at 2, you can enjoy the Wednesday matinee with Ray Lawrence. You'll hear a mix of timeless evergreens, special features, lots of memories from the golden days of radio, occasional surprise guests, and plenty of community information. Brighten up the middle of your week with the Wednesday matinee 2 till 4 on 98.1 Radio Eastern.
EFL Saturday Game Day continues. Let's head back and go local for your footy.
And you wouldn't want to be anywhere else right here on EFL Game Day. We're out here at H.E. Parker Reserve. It is, of course, the Division 3 match between Heathmont and the Glen Waverley Hawks. It's been a fantastic start it's been a fantastic start to this game. Heathmont got the jump early. The Hawks hit back late, and they are 3-1-19. Other Glen Waverley Hawks. Heathmont 3-5-23. We're getting plenty of scores in through the text line at the moment through to my phone. We're doing a fantastic job. So keep up the good work out there in EFL land. Let's start down in Division 4 with South Belgrave and Sylvan. South Belgrave 2-4-16 to Sylvan 4-2-26. A 10-point lead to the Cats. Ferntree Gully Eagles and Forest Hill. Forest Hill 4-2-26 to the Ferntree Gully Eagles 3-7-25. Eastern Lions 3-3-21, leading Kilsyth 1 behind. Surrey Park 3-1-19 to Canterbury 2-4-16. The Panthers are up by 3 points at quarter time. Nunna Whiting off to a great start over Park Orchards. Lions 7-1-43 to Park Orchards 1-6-12. Templestowe 3-4-22 to Coldstream, yet to score in Division 3. Churnside Park 4-7-37 to the Whitehorse Pioneers, 1 behind. North Ringwood and Warrandyte. North Ringwood 2-3-15 to Warrandyte 2-2-14. Mitcham 5 straight 30, leading Wanturna South 1 straight 6. Good contest out at Ringwood and Baronia. Baronia 3-4-22 to Ringwood 3-3-21. And of course here in our radio game, Heathmont 3-5-23 to the Glen Waverley Hawks 3-1-29. In Division 2, the Waverley Blues and Roval. What the heck is going on here? Lost that score just then. The Waverley Blues are 4-4-28 to Roval, 1 behind. That is very, very strange. Waverley Blues in front by 27 points. Also in other Division 2 games, Bayswater 5-1-31 to Donvale 1-2-8. Doncaster East 6-2-38 to Mulgrave 2-2-14. Montrose 5-3-33 have got the jump on Mooroolbark 1-3-9. Great start for Montrose out there. In Division 1, Croydon 3-1-19 to Vermont 2-4-16. South Croydon 5-1-31, leading East Burwood 3 straight 18. East Ringwood and Knox, the Falcons up 3-4-22 to East Ringwood 3-1-19. And Norwood 3-1-19 to Lilydale 1-3-9. Just getting through a score from a Division 3 game. Upper Ferntree Gully 6-3-39 to Doncaster 3-3-21. Good start for the Kings. They are in front by 18 points at the first change. Let's have a look now at some stats that matter from the first quarter between Heathmont and the Glen Waverley Hawks. Thanks to Be Smart, Choose Tap, Yarra Valley Water. Grant Campbell.
Kicks Heathmont won at 52-43. Handballs very low for the quarter, 15 apiece. No surprise given the conditions. The inside 50s, a big discrepancy. Heathmont winning that 17-9. And Glen Waverley Hawks kicked 3 goals from their last 3 inside 50s. The intercept marks is another one that stands out. Glen Waverley Hawks won that 6-2, and I think 5 of those were inside their defensive 50. And the free kick count, since you keep going on about it, was 9-5 in favour of Heathmont. And fair to say that they probably got all the 50-50 ones, and Glen Waverley Hawks got the ones that were definitely there.
Well, we're only going on about it because it seemed like there was a lot paid in the total of 14. That's quite a number of free kicks for a quarter. Would you agree?
I think you're right, but it'll be interesting to see if that evens up, as it often does.
Let's cross down boundary side, thanks to Akira Urgent Care, to Dyson Baker and Victoria Helkias, who were at the huddles at quarter time. Thanks, Dice.
Yeah, thanks, Benny. I was over at the Heathmont huddle. Steve Buckle really praised the great start that the Jets had. Said he let them in. Said that they let the Glen Waverley Hawks in late in that quarter. Need to control the midfield and work both ways. There's a height difference in the ruckman. They need to control that through the middle of the ground. Praised the key backs and the run and support. Really was impressed with Sheriff and O'Driscoll in that first term. Need to control the run as the game draws on, as their smaller, more running type bodies will control, and they need to hold the structures on kickouts. Victoria?
I was in the Glen Waverley huddle. Michael Gall had a few quiet words with the players. He was pleased with our offensive and the tackles so far, but would like them to hold the tackles in the midfield. And he really wants them to try and keep their feet in the wet, which seems to be a bit of a problem today. And yeah, that's about it.
Thank you very much to Victoria Halkias and Dyson Baker as Brad Henderson takes us away in the second term.
Thanks very much, Ben Warren Smith. It is 4 points the margin as the second quarter begins, and Rob Davies to take possession first. Sheriff got involved there as well. We've had a change of footy. It's a yellow football now, a bit easier for us to see. Broadbent's kick to half forward. Nice mark taken though. Front position was owned at that time by Walker. Sorry, it is
Corey Walker.
Well, it's Clint Walker according to our team sheet, Frosty, but anyway.
Right you are.
A lot of players over the footy. Brad Riddle takes possession. Around the corner, Davies had front position against Sheriff. Little handball over the top to McGee. Was pulled off the footy.
Yeah, I would have pinned him too.
Well, it's been paid against McGee there for incorrect disposal. So free kick will go to Dave Sindri for Heathmont. No, in fact, it's coming back to Knudsen. So Jono Knudsen for Heathmont has the ball in the back pocket, just weighs up his options, assesses what's on offer, and not his best effort with the kick. Was intended for Odermatt, who was on a long lead, but set him a pretty hard task. And the boundary line was the victor. 4 points the margin. So Baker to compete against Keno in the ruck. Keno won the tap down this time. McGee takes possession for the Hawks. High up and under kick. Davies in the box seat, had a fair bit of it. Just couldn't quite drag in the mark. Ball shoveled out. Davies tried to go with a soccer kick off the ground. Schoenmaker's got it to Zickman. Zickman had it for a long time. Too long, said the umpire. And holding the ball, decision paid the way of Darren Paul for Heathmont.
If you're in the raffle today out of H.E. Parker Reserve, the winning ticket is Orange C69.
Hickey got it from Barling. Has a bounce now. Hickey, the ball just didn't come back to him on that occasion. It's in the middle of the ground. Quick kick around the corner by Riddle. Ooh. Davies was very crude in his attempt to spoil the football. And I'm surprised the free kick wasn't paid there to the Jets. Umpire throws it up now. Davies, who's just in everything at the moment. Quick kick forward by O'Driscoll to the wing position. Little handball shoveled out by Grasby. Got it to Villani. And free kick will go to Will Villani.
No, it's a holding the ball. He ducked his head. It's a holding the ball.
Sorry. No, a lot of confusion reigning there. Will Villani can't quite believe it. So free kick does indeed go to the Hawks, as you said, Ben. Kick again intended for Davies. Barling to Hickey. In very close quarters, hard up against the boundary line. And,
Davies just shoved him away.
He had the fence on one side and Rob Davies on the other.
Which one would you be more scared of?
Well, it was indeed the
definitely not the fence.
Rock in the hard place. And in the end, the boundary line did offer some sanctuary for Anthony Hickey. Back into play. Beautifully done over the top there by Aaron Riddle. Got it to Irvine. Villani puts his body in over the football. Schoenmakers does so as well. Lots of players appealing for holding the ball, and that's the way the umpire sees it. Pays the free kick to Schoenmakers. Short pass to nobody. Carnelli was, in the end, the player on the long lead there, but it was well out in front of him. And Heathmont defence there, dodging a bit of a bullet as they find the boundary line. And yeah, not a great kick from Carl Schoenmakers, Ben.
Other Division 3 scores this afternoon at quarter time. It's Baronia by 1 point over Ringwood. Mitcham by 4 goals over Wanturna South. A narrow lead of 1 point by North Ringwood over Warrandyte. 6-goal lead by Churnside Park over the Whitehorse Pioneers. And 22-point lead by Templestowe over Coldstream.
Loose footy now. And once again, the umpire to ball it up. It is in the Glen Waverley Hawks forward line. It's about 40 metres out from their goals.
As the umpire has a chat, let's look at Division 4 at quarter time. Nutter Whiting by 31 over Park Orchards. 3-point lead by Surrey Park over Canterbury. The Eastern Lions by 20 over Kilsyth. Forest Hill by 1 over the Ferntree Gully Eagles, where Will Taylor's at today. And Sylvan by 10 points over the South Belgrave Saints.
Free kick, which Soupy Campbell didn't seem to like for some reason. Baker takes the free kick now. Nice pass, hits Grasby on the chest. Shares it with Sindri. It was Burns, in fact. Stephen Burns' kick was a good one. And Heathmont just teaming together very well at the moment. Some good footy as Odermatt takes the mark. Looks for Sheen. But 2-2 had front position. All he wanted to do then was fist the ball to the boundary line. And that's why Darren Sheen's appealing for a deliberate out of bounds. But really just a fair spoil there by 2-2, as any defender should do. Loose ball now, chance for the Jets. Quick kick, drifts across the face of goal. This Hawks defence standing up well. Fia 2-2, he's taken the locket to defence very well, I think, so far in this game. Lepore. Ryan Lepore goes short for the Hawks to to Zickman, I should say. Zickman's kick from wing position. Didn't really do his teammates any favours. Schoenmakers slides in nicely. Controlled the ball well. Gave it to Zickman. The former Lion tumbles it forward. Mark safely taken by Irvine. Scott Irvine at half forward for the Hawks. Lovely pass. Hits Carnelli on the chest. And that was good footy from the Glen Waverley Hawks going forward.
Very good footy there, Brad. What they did was they were patient with the ball. They were able to sit back and wait for that option to present. And when Matty Carnelli charged out from goal, he was honoured and they've hit him straight on the chest.
So Carnelli for his second goal of the day. In fact, would be beautiful. Would be second. Looks good off the boot. And he has split the middle, so lovely kick there by Matty Carnelli. Never looked like missing. And for the first time, the Hawks hit the front. They move on to 4-1-25, leading Heathmont 3-5-23.
The difference as well with the last few minutes is the Glen Waverley Hawks, they've listened to what Mick Gall said. They're able to maintain their feet around the contest. In the first quarter, we saw them go to ground a lot. In this quarter, they're much surer with the first use of the ball. If they continue to do that, they're going to be a much better team, much harder to contend with all day.
Ball back in the middle of the ground. We've gone 5 minutes in this second term. Who's going to get the clearance? It was good play by Hancock. They're getting it out of the middle now. The Glen Waverley Hawks, they're doing okay too. The kick goes up towards Brad Riddle. He had to get it off the ground. He did. He kicked it to the top of the square to the Danny Gray direction. Was fisted away from him. Davies chases after the ball now. Can the big man get down? He does, but he's pushed over the boundary line and out of bounds. Can't believe that was allowed to be kept back, stay in. It was clearly a metre or so over the boundary line, but it has been pushed through for one behind. So a bit of a let off there. So we'll... It's Dean Ryquist that had a kick there. But everyone had basically stopped because most people knew that the ball had gone out of bounds. Now it'll be Heathmont. Clear the ball. Right in front of us here on the broadcast position. Getting down low was Villani. Glen Waverley do well. This is Zickman. Handball over the top to Keno. He's got running support in Lang. Wants to switch back into the middle. That was a clever kick because he's found Hancock. Across the half-forward line, wants the short option, and players just everywhere at the moment as Riddle takes a mark. This is Brad Riddle, about 45 metres out from goal, directly in front. Grant Campbell, thanks to Choose Tap.
Inside 50s this quarter, 8-1 in favour of Glen Waverley Hawks, and the tackle count is 9-3 in favour of Heathmont, but that shows you that they've been second to the ball too often.
So Brad Riddle looking for his first goal of the afternoon. They hit the front only 2 minutes ago for the first time. They can now stretch it to a lead of 9 points, but he's shanked it, but he's kicked it to Gray. He had the front spot. Ball still in play. Heathmont will clear it now. Alani's got it across the half-back line, unfortunately for him and his side. He couldn't quite trap the ball, and it goes over the boundary line and out of bounds.
One player that's really came into the game around stoppages for the Glen Waverley Hawks this quarter is Sam Zickman. Plenty of experience having played in Division 1 with Mulgrave over the last few years.
So the umpire to bring it in now. Beautiful throw in that was. Palmed down by Baker. Ball still pretty hot, going in hard with Zickman. Can he get it out? I might have to come in and bounce this. He will now. So right in front of us here on the broadcast side, the members side stand. So Glen Waverley Hawks by 3 points. We've gone 7 minutes in this first term. The knockdown came straight to George, got boot to ball, got it to the way of Villani, who just tried to paddle it onto his own advantage. Going in hard there, Hancock. Can they squeeze it out? Plenty of players around this. The umpire will start it again. But the stoppages thanks to Choose Tap match stats.
Around the grounds, it's been 3 apiece. The centre clearance is 2-0 in favour of Glen Waverley.
Wasting no time and starting it off. Keno got the knockdown that time. Could have been a free kick. You would have thought to Parker from Heathmont, but it doesn't matter because now they've got Hickey with the ball. Squeezes a kick along the wing position. It was very cute. He's going to go for the 1-2, but put himself under a lot of pressure, but he broke the tackle. Kicks it up towards Odermatt, who comes out. He's been playing in front all game, and he's been delivering too. Swings around on the left boot, goes towards the Sheen direction. Aiken might come in from the side and go for a fly. Back bottom of the pack. Kick off the ground that time there by Knudsen. Goes through for a minor score. So that was a little bit exciting bit of play, Peter Baird, from the wing right down to the forward. It was fast and they nearly got the chocolates.
Certainly was. And if Lee Odermatt continues to provide that that lead up forward. They're going to honour him every time. As soon as he charges out like that, he's just a presence there, and he's really taken this game by storm. That's a real worry for the Glen Waverley Hawks. They're going to have to try and nullify the influence that he has, because he can be so influential when he gets on top of a game like he's starting to now.
On the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, it is the Glen Waverley Hawks 4-2-26 leading Heathmont a 3-goal 6-24. So a very tight game out here at HE Parker Reserve.
Like we love for the radio games, Ben Warren Smith.
Every week.
So Clint Walker brings the ball back in for the Hawks, but it's a disappointing kick. Daniel Baker takes the mark. Big Daniel Baker. His kick was poor, chopped off by Clint Walker, keen to redeem himself after that poor kick out. Burns takes possession, gathered it nicely then Stephen Burns. Kick was had a bit too much on it for his teammate. Forsyth, nice spoil. Palmed it down. Forsyth takes possession now, and he was looking for Burns, but the boundary line again was too close. 2-point lead to the Hawks, and Heathmont, after that really fast start to this game, they've certainly gone into their shell a bit in the last, well, certainly the early minutes of this quarter, and probably the latter part of that first term as well. Little quick kick came away. Forsyth. He just reads the play so well, Peter Forsyth, in an aerial contest. Always seems to get his hands to the footy. Ball into the path of Carnelli. Clever. Little kick around the corner. That was clever. Handball is on to Brad Riddle in the goal square. And the Hawks, they did it very easily on that occasion. Far too easily for Steve Buckles' liking, I'm sure. And as a result, Glen Waverley move on to 5-2-32, leading Heathmont 3-goal 6-24.
Yeah, intelligent play there from Canelli to get the ball onto his boot, turn it round to an unmarked Zickman who was handed to the top over the top to Riddle. But the bit I liked there was Canelli's attack on the ball, came charging out from full forward, was able to gather the ball on the bounce. If you continue to attack the ball like that, you're always going to be a hard man to stop in the forward line.
So number 4 for Heathmont, Brad, Jono, which you call Knudsen. It's not Knudsen,
No, it's Knudsen. Actually, we were in a radio game, we were told by, I think it was his mother, that it is Knudsen.
Okay, thank you very much, Brad Henderson. That clears the air as the ball's back in the middle. I knew I had to go with you. Who could argue with the accurate one? As the ball goes inside 50, that's Hunter. Looking for a target, but standing front spot was Peter Forsyth. Strong mark for the Jets. Got players running out wide. Taking off now is Jake Sheriff. Fell over. Good tackle by Danny Gray. And the umpire's going to reward him too. Could have gone either way, maybe in the back, but the right decision, I think, was made. So Gray has the ball across half forward. Slippery out there this afternoon. Davies had front spot. That was knocked away from him. Coming in and getting down low was Irvine. Kept the ball alive to Davies. Wants to give it back to Irvine. And once again, the umpire's going to ping him, holding the ball. It's a hot footy out here this afternoon.
He's hot on his whistle there, that umpire as well, Ben Warren Smith.
I think he's making some good decisions. I certainly do. Showing what colours you're wearing this afternoon, Peter Baird. As the ball's kicked out in front of us here. Clinton George takes the mark.
The man who kicked it to him then was Darren Paul. He's such an awkward-looking kick, but he's generally pretty effective.
So the kick goes up towards the wing, taken by Navinder Singh, the big man. Back up Ruckman, wants to get on with it. McGee charges through. He's a silky player, McGee. Kicks it up towards the half-forward line. Gray's had front spot, trapped it, double-teamed. Good tackle there. Ball comes out. Irvine scoop it out. A handball by George. Tried to find a teammate. The umpire's going to come in and play a free kick to Glen Waverley. So
while the ball's on the ground like that, there's always an ability for the umpire to pay a free kick. I just think they're over-umpiring at times at the moment, Ben Warren Smith, both ways.
So Peter Baird justifying himself as Danny Gray comes in. He might just push in the distance here, but he's going to give it a fair old roost. But Baker at the last line of defence has a smart bit of play to stand there. Takes a safe mark. Goes short. Sheriff. Once again, he was sloppy with the disposal, Sheriff, but he might be the first one to meet it. No, charging through Davies. Handball over the top. That was clever. Carnelli tried to fist it onto Riddle. Riddle got a little give back to Carnelli. Can he get boot to ball? The big man is down on the ground level. Trying to squeeze it out is also Clinton George. Baker's in there. Got a handball away. It's a hot footy here as the Jets look to clear. Can they get a clean possession? Over the ball is Clark paddling it backwards. They're going to try and Oh, they're going to try and claim a goal here, the Glen Waverley Hawks, but it looked like it was knocked through by George. So, umpire's just conversing.
I reckon this is going to be a goal, Ben Warren Smith.
If it is a goal, I think it's Danny Gray who will be attributed with
So
the
the
goal.
4 umpires are all talking, both boundary umpires, field and goal, and they're going to go back into the middle. What's going to be paid here? It's going to be paid a goal. Yeah! Glen Waverley Hawks. I think that goes to Matty Carnelli. He's the one that looks the most excited there. So, yes, it is. Matt Carnelli kicks his 3rd goal for the afternoon, and Glen Waverley, they scoot away with another free kick being paid, and it's going to go to Glen Waverley right after this bounce, and it's... Oh, no, there's been a yellow card being played. Have you seen that? What happened there, Grant Campbell?
Oh, I did not see it, so I can't help you there.
I think it was the Heathmont player there just giving the umpire his version of events, and the umpire didn't quite appreciate that, and it's given him 15 minutes to cool off on the sidelines.
Lucky you aren't out there, Peter. I reckon you would have got a yellow card for your comments before.
So a free kick has been paid in the middle of the ground. It's going the way of the Hawks at the moment. Gee, they're playing some great football. Kick comes forward, broad bent, put his body on the line, did well. Parker got it to Sheriff. Jake Sheriff, high kick to the wing position. And that's a wonderful mark. Just working back with the flight of the ball. Beautifully done. He comes forward for the Hawks. At the moment, the Jets can't seem to really get it anywhere near their forward line.
Division 2 scores at quarter time. Bayswater lead Donvale by 23. Doncaster East by 4 goals over Mulgrave. Also a 4-goal lead by Montrose over Mooroolbark in the match of the day in Division 2. Upper Ferntree Gully by 18 points over Doncaster. And the Waverley Blues by 27 points over Roval.
Fisted out of the air there by Burns. Strong tackle applied, Grant.
Inside 50s are 14-3 this quarter for Glen Waverley Hawks, so they've evened it up for the match. It's 23-20 now in favour of the Hawks.
Yeah, the stats are starting to go their way, as you'd expect, as McGee's kick to the top of the square. Gray tries to hunt down the footy, gave it to Carnelli, back to Gray, but it was intercepted by Paul. Darren Paul's handball into open space. Irvine, did he throw it out? No, he got a tackle over the shoulder, so free kick goes... No, it's going the other way, in fact. So it's going to the Jets. And it's that man wearing number 54. We'll get Dyson to check out who's got that jumper for the Jets.
Jack Batchelor.
Brad Riddle's kick forward. Jack Batchelor wearing number 54. Thanks to Dyson Baker on the boundary.
Oh, great tackle.
Little handball. The Walkers combined. Clint got it to Corey. Floating kick, Irvine in the front position. Brad Riddle has had a great first half. Fires at the goals for goal number 2. He's celebrating and he has kicked the goal. Great goal from Brad Riddle. And at the moment, the Glen Waverley Hawks can do no wrong. They are starting to stretch their lead. It's out to 7 goals, 244. Heathmont, 3 goals, 624. And a very handy 20-point buffer the way of the Hawks.
7 goals in a row now, Peter Baird, for the Glen Waverley Hawks after Heathmont kicked the first 3.
No, they're on a bit of a roll at the moment. I'm really impressed with Brad... with Rob Davies really providing a hard target for them, doing a lot of heavy groundwork. An early contender for the Trojan workhorse today, Ben Warren Smith.
Division 1 scores at quarter time. Croydon by 3 over Vermont. 13-point lead by South Croydon over East Burwood. Scoresby by 9 over Noble Park. 1 point. Blackburn lead Balwyn. 3-point lead by Knox over East Ringwood, and Norwood by 10 over Lilydale. Ball goes up towards the half-forward line for Heathmont. We've had another restart in the middle. Can they get it up to Warwood? No, sure. Not sure anyway. Let's kick it up towards half forward where Grasby comes out. That was a bit of a mongrel kick, but he was first to meet it. He wants to take off and kick to the top of the goal square. Who's there? At the back of the pack, Mickey Aitken. He's been quiet this afternoon. Bangs it on his boot. Can he bring it around enough? No, he can't. Minus score is the result. So Heathmont, well, at least they got it down forward. They moved to 3 goals, 7-25. They're trailing by 19 points. 7 goals, 2 a straight kicking Glen Waverley Hawks on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
A lot of the difference this quarter has been, Ben Warren Smith, is the tackling pressure of the Glen Waverley Hawks. Every time Heathmont get it, there's an implied pressure, whether they're under pressure or not, and they seem to be turning the ball over or just hanging on to it that little bit too long, a bit indecisive.
So Lang takes the mark. He had Josh Gray right next to him in case he needed him. They could have raffled at that time. Lang's kick into the middle of the ground, and the mark is held there. High kick, looking for Schoenmakers, and he's taken the mark there. Goody just arriving a little bit late on the scene. 19-point lead to the Hawks at this stage, Grant.
Glen Waverley Hawks only had one mark inside 50 in the first quarter. This is their 4th so far in this second quarter.
Thanks to Choose Tap.
Showing you why you are the premier stats man in the eastern suburbs, Grant Campbell.
So Carl Schoenmakers hasn't kicked one today so far. Nice kick off the boot. Gee, that's a great effort from that position. Made it look easy in the end. Carl Schoenmakers has kicked his first, and that is 8 goals on the trot now for Glen Waverley. 8 goals, 250. Heathmont, 3 goals, 725. And you never would have guessed that the game would pan out this way when Heathmont kicked the first 3 goals of the game. At the moment, they cannot get a sniff of it.
There's a bit of a stunned silence around HE Parker Reserve as the Heathmont faithful. And a little bit of a shock here. Dyson Baker on the boundary. What's the feeling down there like at ground level?
Yeah, look, Peter Baird, reasonably cool, calm and collected, as you said. Very, very quiet out here. They're hoping that the scoring end is to the left-hand side. We'll see how we pan out in the second half, but thanks to Akira Urgent Care, very, very silent.
That's what we say when we cross down boundary side, Peter Baird. As the ball goes up towards the half-forward line, it's going to be kicked out there by Sam Zickman. Bangs it up towards half-forward now, and they've taken another mark. So this time it's going to be Irvine. Short passes on. Carnelli got double-teamed. It's going to go over the boundary line and out of bounds. So Grant Campbell, thanks to Choose Tap Match Stats.
Uncontested possessions this quarter, 32-16 in favour of Glen Waverley.
So we're into time on here in the second quarter. It's been all Glen at Waverley in this term. Davies takes it out, got a little handball onto Irvine, bangs it on his boot. That was a smart kick, double teamed once again Carnelli. Sheriff probably should have gone for the mark. They could have switched the play. The safety of the boundary line gets the better of them, and we'll have a boundary throw in right forward pocket. Glen Waverley end. Handy lead now. They're double the score of Heathmont. It's 50-25, but both teams have had the same amount of scoring shots. So the Glen Waverley Hawks are kicking them into the big sticks. Ball comes back in. Davies over the top. They're going to clear it now, Heathmont. Ball gets towards the half-back line. Who's going to be able to trap it? Getting down was Goody. Scooped and kicked it from absolutely nowhere. That is a massive kick by Sam Zickman from 50 metres out. He just banged it on the boot. It was a quick shimmy kick that came in his direction, and he just headed towards the goals. And as I just mentioned, they just keep hitting the big sticks, the Glen Waverley Hawks. That's their 9th on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. They moved to 9 goals, 256. 3 goals, 725 of the Heathmont Jets on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. This is just a great quarter by the Jets, by the Hawks.
Yeah, they're a fantastic quarter, but I'm really impressed about their tackling pressure inside their forward 50 there, Grant Campbell. They really hold the ball in when they get the ball inside forward 50 and really crunch the man, and it sets up goal-scoring opportunities, as we saw then from Zickman.
Back into the middle, and it's 9 goals 2, playing 3 goals 7 at this stage. So the lead is out to 31 points. What a great pickup Sam Zickman will be for this for the Glen Waverley Hawks Football Club. Premiership player at Mulgrave, of course. Jaden Himmerman, I should say, gets the free kick. Villani off the pack, little handball, shot it out to Sindri. Dave Sindri backpedals, gave it to Odermatt, whose influence has definitely been nullified in this second quarter. He really started the game all guns blazing in that first term. As did the Hawks, as did the Jets, I should say, for that matter. Away come the Hawks now. This is promising. The ball, again, probably bouncing. It's not the preferred option in these conditions. Davies had a fair bit of it. Couldn't quite drag in the mark. Good effort there by Sheriff in opposition. He's battling hard against a much bigger opponent. Floating kick forward. Big spoil, big double fist to that time. And that came from Forsyth.
It's cost Grant Campbell, thanks to Choose Tap.
That forward 50 tackle count that Peter Baird was wanting, it's 3-1 this quarter in favour of Glen Waverley.
Looks like the Huddles curse may be over, Peter Baird, as Nutter Wadding lead by 10 goals at half-time over Park Orchards.
Big fist by Sheen. Batchelor off the ground. Applies the tackle now. Loose ball, Heathmont. They've just got to try and get it out of their defence at the moment. It's somehow forced outside their defensive 50. Quick kick by Keno. And an extremely unrealistic attempt to mark there by Rob Davies. Absolutely was all over his opponent and concedes an obvious free kick. O'Driscoll offers a long lead and takes the mark at half-back for the Jets.
Should have kept going.
Not playing with a lot of flair or freedom at the moment, the Jets, that's for sure, and that's a disappointing kick by O'Driscoll. An uncontested mark for Big Fia Tutu. Bangs it over the head of Hancock. Forsyth backpedals now with the handball to Sheen. To Sheriff. They're under pressure every time they get the footy at the moment, the Jets. Sheen had enough time to just measure a little intricate kick to Pete Forsyth.
Now he's got to run 150 metres to get back down forward.
Forsyth's kick off his non-dominant side found Goody on the chest. Lachlan Goody, short pass is on from him to Batchelor. Under pressure, great pressure by Sean Makers. Batchelor had it for a long time. And the umpire, fairly generous on that occasion, not paying the free kick, calls for a boundary throw-in. 31-point lead. And I mentioned Sam Zickman before, such a handy recruit because he can kick a goal when he goes forward, he can play key defence, he can obviously very good in a run-with role. We've seen him handed a lot of big jobs over the years when he was at Mulgrave.
And he was so good in that grand final that they won to go up to Division 1, voting in the best on that ground that day as well, Brad Henderson.
Certainly was. On Eamon Costello from memory. As, oh sorry, I might be thinking of another.
He played on Bernie Deneen that day.
Sorry, I was thinking of the year before he played on Eamon Costello in the grand final. And yeah, no, you're right. He always got the big jobs when he was at Mulgrave. Always took the best player from the opposition more often than not. A lot of players over the footy. Batchelor there applies a tackle. A bit of a stalemate at the moment. This is what, on the one hand, this is what Heathmont need. They need to stem the flow and stop the bleeding, but at the same time, they really need to find a way to conjure up a couple of goals, but I think time's going to beat them in this first half. Well played there by Sheriff. Little underground handball was intended for Forsyth. And we'll have a boundary throw in.
And as you're right, I think Steve Buckle's bringing the moves here. He's moved Darren Sheen into the ruck to try and get a bit of drive around stoppages for Heathmont. They need a goal in a hurry before half-time.
Sheen against Davies. Brad Riddle sharked the pack nicely. Tumbles it forward. And the siren sounds to end a first half, which indeed was a game of 2 quarters, in that Heathmont had a very good first term before Glen Waverley struck back late in that first quarter, but in the second quarter it was all the Hawks. They dominated the second term here at H.E. Parker Reserve. 9 goals, 2-56 at half-time, leading Heathmont 3 goals, 7-25.
9 goals in a row to the Glen Waverley Hawks after Heathmont kicked the first 3. It's a big game out here at H.E. Parker Reserve. The home crowd are a little bit stunned now, but expect a big clash for the second half. We'll be back after these messages with all the round-the-ground scores with Ben Waterworth as you go local for your footy right here on EFL Game Day.
Brett Field and the team at Ferntree Gully Holden have some big news. For this year's 3-day sale, they're letting you tell them what you want. Starting this Friday, buy a new or used car and on top of scoring a great price, they'll throw in your choice of free window tinting, a $500 Coles Myer gift card or $600 worth of free accessories. You'll also take home all of Holden's end of financial year extras. So get down to Ferntree Gully Holden this Friday through to Sunday and design a deal made just for you. Conditions apply. Offer only available between the 18th to 20th of May 2012. LMCT 443.
Program sponsor.
Radio Eastern 98.1. It's 19 after 3. Barry Coss here with you in the studio for the halftime break. And currently in Melbourne's outer east, it's sitting on 15 degrees. And we're looking for a top today of 16. It'll be mostly cloudy and scattered showers becoming isolated later this afternoon. Then clearing, winds northwesterly. And the outlook for Sunday is mostly sunny afternoon and a top of 17. Monday, mostly sunny, Tuesday and 19, Wednesday mostly sunny and 19, and Thursday patchy rain and 15, and currently in Melbourne's outer east it's sitting on 15 degrees. Now, in desperate need of some windows, but your budget is too high? Never fear, because the team at T&B Window Warehouse has the right solution for you. And they're having a one-off sale, not to be missed, on Saturday the 2nd of June from 9 a.m. And there's thousands of surplus windows to be had and to be on sale, and you'll still have some spare change to finish off all those renovations. They're located at 120 to 124 Bayfield Road, East Bayswater North. So give them a call on 8727-7506. That's 8727-7506. T&B Window Warehouse, part of the EAL and AW Transport Group. Your number one in window transport.
If you love your EFL footy like I do and you love getting down to see your team play, you don't want to be spending your weekend stuck in the car driving. That's why I opened a Breeze account. Eastlink is the quickest, easiest way to get around Melbourne's east, and tags are the cheapest way to use Eastlink. So open your Breeze account online at eastlink.com.au today and use Eastlink in the cheapest possible way with a tag account. Instead of being stuck behind the wheel, I can have more time getting stuck into the umpire. Ball! Eastlink, it's time better spent, like at the footy.
Program sponsor.
It's that time of the day when you want to add some musical flavours to your morning.
Cafe Classics, adding that extra bit of spice. It's your time out. Thursday mornings, 9 to 11 a.m.
With Deanna Roberts and Rick Durrow.
Cafe Classics, here on Radio Eastern 98.1.
Radio Eastern 98.1, 21 after 3. And now let's take a check of what's happening with AFL scores. And we say a very good afternoon to Damien Watson. How are you, Damien? You're a bit cold. Are you a bit rugged up when you came into the studio this afternoon?
Yeah, obviously with the inclement weather last night, it's certainly cold this Saturday afternoon. But we got a couple of AFL scores for you, Baz. Hawthorn are doing it very, very easily over Fremantle.
That's what I want to hear.
Yeah, that's right. Down in Tasmania this afternoon, after leading by 13 points at quarter time. Hawthorn now lead at half-time, 10-9-69 over Fremantle, a paltry 2-6-18. Amongst the goal kickers, Rioli's playing a fantastic game in the midfield in what is a physically minded match. Rioli booting 2, Roughhead 2, Suckling 2. Buddy has 1 goal on the board. The leading possession getters for Hawthorn, Clinton Young with 17 disposals. Brad Sewell up there again with 14, and Luke Bruce, the youngster, with 13 for the Dockers. Just a couple of goal kickers for them, obviously. Michael Barlow with 1 and Neil with 1. Ryan Crowley is their leading possession getter with 17. And out at Amy Stadium this afternoon, the big match between Port Adelaide and North Melbourne, and it's North leading narrowly early in the third term, 7-5-47 over Port Adelaide, 6-3-39. So looks like it's going to be a close contest out there in Adelaide, Barry.
Thanks very much, Damon. Yes, indeed, it will be, and we'll give you further AFL up scores or updates later on during the day.
EFL Saturday Game Day continues. Let's head back and go local for your footy.
Aren't the Glen Waverley Hawks on fire at H.E. Parker Reserve at half-time? The Hawks lead by 31 points. They have kicked the last 9 goals of the contest. It has been a magnificent start to this game for the Hawks. Let's see if they continue that in the second half. But we've got plenty of around-the-ground scores at the moment. Let's start in Division 1. And it's a good contest between Vermont and Croydon. Vermont 7-6-48 to Croydon 6-4-40. South Croydon 8-2-50, leading East Burwood 7-1-43. That's a 7-point margin in favour of South Croydon. A good start for the doggies out there. East Ringwood 4-4-28, only a narrow lead over Knox, 3-9-27. Surprise, surprise, a low-scoring game at Knox, so that might play into the hands of the Falcons. Norwood, 3-3-21 to Lilydale, 2-3-15. Bayswater in Division 2, Bayswater 6-3-39 to Donvale, 6-4-40. Doncaster East doing it easily, 10-5-65 to Mulgrave, 4-3-27. Montrose 13-6-84 to Remoorabak, 1-6-12. Upper Ferntree Gully 12-6-78 to Doncaster, 4-4-28. And the final score in Division 2, Peter Baird won't like this. Waverley Blue 7-5-47 to Roeville, 3-3-21. We'll bring you all the Division 3 and 4 scores after we do our usual cross to the man who brings us all the news from around the world, and it is a very good afternoon to the sports reader of the Channel 9 News at 6 p.m. tonight. And let's say good afternoon to Clint Stanaway. Hello, Clint. Might not have Clint on the line at the moment. while we wait for Clint, let's go through some of the other scores around Division 3 football at the moment. Heathmont, as we just said, down to the Glen Waverley Hawks. Heathmont 3-7-25 to Glen Waverley Hawks 9-56.
Hello.
There we are. Clint Stanaway, have we got you, sir?
Hello, we've got you.
We got you. Excellent. Let's see what's going on around the world. What's going on in all the AFL scores around the world at the moment?
There's a few good ones going on. Well, actually, just a one goal for Buddy after a slow start. The Hawks are doing it easy in Launceston against the Dockers, but it's a bit tighter down there at Amy Stadium. The Roos have been stung into action after that poor performance last week. They lead the Power by a goal. And, of course, a bit later on this afternoon, the Demons are in action against the Swans.
Oh, yes.
Liam Jurra to make his return for Melbourne. Could it be the spark they need?
Maybe. They need a spark at the moment, the D's. That's a bit of an understatement. Clint, what else is happening around the world in the news world at the moment?
Well, on 9 News tonight, a 15-year-old underage driver killed in a fiery crash in Melbourne's northeast. Also, retirees hit hard as billions is wiped off the share market. Knives seized as transit police crack down on weapons at Southern Cross Station. The whooping cough promise from the Victorian opposition. Facebook shares stumble, and we've got some great pictures as the Olympic torch arrives in London. Also, we'll cross to Corey Norris live at the MCG for the AFL's Dreamtime match, and of course, all the sport. Injury woes for the Pies, both Dane Swan and Ben Reid struggling after last night's win, and the Blues declare Chris Judd a certain start of tomorrow's clash with Adelaide. So plenty happening in 9 News at 6.
Beautiful, good stuff, Clint. Are you heading over to London for the Olympic Games in a couple of months' time?
I will be. The countdown's on. 68 days, I believe.
Wow.
So we can't wait.
Getting close. Looking forward to it. And, of course, you can see that all on Channel 9. We'll talk to you next week, Clint.
Thanks, Ben.
Clint Stanaway there, 9 News at 6 o'clock. Always very, very entertaining. Just getting a couple of other scores through at the moment. Baldwin 5-7-37 to Blackburn 4-7-31. Baldwin up by 6 points, so a good start for them here. Let's have a look at Division 3. As I said before, Glen Waverley Hawks 9-2-56 to Heathmont 7-25. Baronia 7-6-48 to Ringwood 6-6-42. Great start for the Hawks in that game there, but it's a tight game as we expected. Mitcham doing it easy over Wantana South, haven't they? Come to play 10-3-63 to Wantana South 3-1-19. North Ringwood 7-6-48 to Warrandyte 3-5-23. Whitehorse Pioneers 1-2-8 to Heathmont 8-10-58. Coldstream 3-2-20. Templestowe 6-6-42. So Templestowe with a 22-point lead there, but Coldstream certainly doing some good stuff there. In Division 4, Park Orchards 1-10-16, trailing Nunawading 10-3-63. Inaccurate kicking to say the least. But here's the big one, Surrey Park 5-2-32, leading Canterbury 4-6-30 at halftime. Eastern Lions 8-4-52 to Kilsyth 2-1-13. Forest Hill 6-3-39 to the Ferntree Gully Eagles 5-15-45. And in other games, South Belgrave 7-12-54, comfortably leading Sylvan 5-3-33. So that is a 21-point lead to the South Belgrave Football Club. And just getting a final score here through from Scoresby. Scoresby are 7-4-46 to Noble Park 6-6-42. So some good stuff going on there around the grounds. I'll just quickly go through some more scores. Croydon trailing by 8 points. Vermont in front by 8 points there. South Croydon 7 points in front of East Burwood. Scoresby 4 points in front of Noble Park. Baldwin 6 points in front of Blackburn. East Ringwood 1 point in front of Knox. Norwood are 6 points in front of Lilydale. In Division 2, Donvale 1 point in front of Bayswater. Doncaster East 38 points in front of Mulgrave. Montrose 72 points in front of Mooroolbark. Listen to this scoreline, 13-6-84 to Mooroolbark 1-6-12. Upper Ferntree Gully 12-6-78 to Doncaster 4-4-28. Waverley Blues 7-5-47 to Roeville 3-3-21, but I just made mention of the score just then. Montrose 13-6-84 to Mooroolbark 1-6-12. Montrose, they were definitely due for a big performance, but were they due for a win like this? Oh my goodness, Montrose up by 72 points. Jeff Manalitza is out at Montrose Recreation Reserve. Jeffrey, what the heck is going on?
Yeah, thanks, Benny. As we were a couple of weeks ago down here at one of the picturesque grounds of the EFL, the Montrose Reserve. Well, it was shaped up to be a big game, this one. First versus third, playing for the MP's Challenge Shield and $1,000 to the winning team. And I'm going to say Montrose has just absolutely blown them out of the park today. Montrose at half-time, as you said, 12 goals up, 13-6, 84 to 1-6-12. Montrose they're back out on the field, they're almost ready to go for the second half. But it was at the first quarter, some fantastic lineups, some big forwards down both ends. Of course, Montrose with Schilling and Cook up forward, Gale and also Wadsworth on those two. And then down the other end, you had Talevsky and also Charge pushing up forward as well for the Mustangs. But it was Montrose that got off to the better of the two teams. They were 4 goals up at quarter time, and really the game breaker was in that second quarter. Montrose just piling on 8 goals to Moorbuck's 3 behind for the quarter, and it was all done in the first half of that second quarter, with Montrose kicking 3 goals in the first 5 minutes. Some undisciplined play by Moorbuck, giving away 3 25-metre penalties. And then followed by another couple of goals from Schilling and Rickard up to the 10-minute mark of that second quarter. So really for Montrose at the moment, their tackling pressure, their stoppages and their contested footy certainly outclassing Moorbuck at the moment. And we're looking for a big win here at the moment for Montrose.
It's fantastic stuff. Jeff will talk to you after the game. Look forward to hearing your report.
Cheers, Ben.
Jeff Benelitzer out there watching the Montrose demolition of Moorbuck, 72 points. Here's the margin. Some quick scores in Division 3 and 4. Glen Waverley Hawks up by 31 points over Heathmont. Boronia by 6 points over Ringwood. Mitcham by 44 points over Wantirna South. North Ringwood by 25 points over Warrandyte. Churnside Park by 31 points over the Whitehorse Pioneers. And Templestowe by 22 points over Coldstream at half-time. In Division 4, an accurate Nunna Warning lead by 47 points over a very inaccurate Park Orchards. That scoreline 10-3-63 to 1-10-16. Surrey Park, 2 points in front of Canterbury at half-time. We're getting excited here in the box, but we're not getting too excited at the same time. Can the Panthers do it? Follow Surrey Park Footy FC on Twitter if you want to try and get around that. Eastern Lions, 8-4-52 to Kilsyth, 2-1-13, 39-point lead to the Eastern Lions. Ferntree Gully Eagles, 6 points in front of Forest Hill. And South Belgrave up by 21 points over Sylvan Football Club. But in Division 1, it's now time to turn our attention over to the Balwyn SCN Park. Balwyn at the moment are 5-7-37 to Blackburn 4-7-31. It is a 6-point lead to the Balwyn Football Club. As quick as you can, Dan, because we got one team back on the park at the moment. But in about 30 seconds to a minute, Dan, why is Balwyn in front by 6 points? Daniel Senchik.
Yeah, it's a very big clash out here at Balwyn Park today, Ben. It's a big day, obviously, because 2 local rivals going head-to-head, and it was great to see them at the start of the match put that rivalry aside for a minute of silence for Sean Bergen, who sadly passed away last season. But look, the first quarter was end-to-end stuff, very even clash. Big clash, big duel going on between Sam McCauley and Luke Barker, who's been very quiet in the first quarter. It wasn't that Lukey Barker was getting beaten one out by Sam McCauley. It was the fact that he wasn't so much a focal point. And look, the second quarter, started out Balwyn on fire with 2 goals to Ben Harris in the first 4 minutes, and they were away. It started to look like their respective ladder positions, but Blackburn hung in there with goals to O'Sullivan midway through the term, and Balwyn obviously on the back foot there. Look, I think Blackburn could have been in front at half-time. They missed a lot of opportunities there. Quarter time, they were 2-3-15 in front of Balwyn, and they kicked an inaccurate 2 goals for that quarter, so they want to rectify that in the third.
Beautiful stuff, Dan. We look forward to hearing your report after the game.
Cheers, Ben. Dan
Senchik out there at the Blackburn game. Balwyn in front by 6 points. We're going to head back. We're going to head to our final break before we get underway here in the third term. Boys back in the studio. We might just cut the ad break in half because both teams and the umpires are about on the field, about to go do battle. So we'll be back after the break here on EFL Game Day with all the action from the third quarter. You're listening to EFL Game Day.
Brett Field and the team at Ferntree Gully Holden are offering some great end of financial year extras, including 1 free standard service, 2 years extra warranty, and 3 years extra roadside assist. But the team wanted to go one step further during their 3-day sale. From this Friday through to Sunday, score up to $600 in additional extras with the purchase of any new or used car. So get down there to pick up a great deal and a truckload of free extras. Only at Ferntree Gully Holden. Conditions apply. Offer only available between the 18th to 20th of May 2012. LMCT 443.
Program sponsor.
20% makes a lot of difference. Imagine your team kicking 20% less goals and being 20% behind on the scoreboard. Actually, let's not. Now, imagine using a Breeze tag account on Eastlink and getting a 20% discount on all weekend car trips. No need to imagine, it's for real. Open your account online at eastlink.com.au and get 20% off car trips all weekend, every weekend on Eastlink. Now, let's give my mate Ross 20% more stick for being 4 goals behind. Hey, Roscoe! Eastlink, it's time better spent, like at the footy.
Program sponsor.
EFL Saturday Game Day continues. Let's head back and go local for your footy.
Good stuff, boys. Back in the studio. We're about to get underway in the third term, of course, with the Glen Waverley Hawks currently in front by 31 points. Been a fantastic comeback by the Glen Waverley Hawks. Let's, before we get BWS back in the calling position, let's go to Grant Campbell. Thanks to Be Smart, Choose Tap Water, Grant Campbell, Yarra Valley Water. Some stats that matter.
There was only really 2 stats that really made the difference. It was marks inside 50. Glen Waverley Hawks won that in the second quarter, 5-0. And inside 50s, they won that 23-5. They have to improve that greatly to be any chance.
Thank you, Grant. As the third quarter gets underway and the first free kick of the quarter goes to Heathmont. And it's with Anthony Hickey, who looks for Odermatt on a long lead. Odermatt there, still being watched by Mark Foote as his opponent. Odermatt swings around, looks for Aitken. I don't think we saw Mick Aitken probably get his hands on the footy at all in that second term. He definitely drifted out of the match.
But in all fairness to him, Brad Henderson, the ball didn't get down there a lot either.
No, wasn't his fault by any means, but just showed how in the first quarter he was looming large. There's the kick by Aitken, marked right on the last line of defence by Fia Tutu. I think's played a terrific defender's game today for the Hawks. Not his best kick this time. Clark intercepts it now. Shares it with Forsyth. Off a step, Forsyth's kick was fisted away. Hickey, sweeping handball. Little kick around the corner by Grasby. What's he done? He has kicked the goal. Thought it may have been touched on the last line there again by Tutu, but yeah, that wasn't the way the umpire saw it. And Darcy Grasby has bagged his second goal. And Heathmont get off to a great start, and there's one thing for certain, the end that Heathmont are kicking to now is well and truly the scoring end here at H.E. Parker Reserve today, but I'm not sure why, because there doesn't seem to be a lot of wind out there.
He's a real live wire up forward for Heathmont up there, Darcy Grasby. He's been in and under, around the feet of Darren Sheen and Mick Aitken, always provides him an option. He's not scared to push up towards the midfield to try and work hard and get the ball down deep for Heathmont.
Ball back in the middle of the ground. No one got a clear tap out that time. It was banked by Sheen, who started in the middle. It kicks it to Aitken, who comes out, gets down low, Mickey Aitken, and takes a beautiful mark. Now, we know he'll kick the distance because he's got one of the most beautiful kicks across all 4 divisions in this Eastern Football League. And this is exactly the spot that he likes him from. He kicks through the ball. And, geez, a couple of goals in a minute. This is a start they were after, Pete.
It certainly is. And I'm sure Steve Buckle would have reminded his Heathmont Jets at half-time about some of the second half fade-outs of the Glen Waverley Hawks. And his team's responded. They've come out full of running in the first few minutes.
Aitken goes from 50 metres. You give the guy a rap and he just scraps it. But Lux of Fortune standing in the pocket with Lachlan Goody. And he takes a mark, plays on, bangs it on the boot. The goal umpire fell completely over. It's bamboozled him. This has gone through for a behind, though. It's going to cross the face. It has. One behind is the result. That was quite comical. And if you check it out on YouTube during the week, if you like to. So one behind is the result. Mickey Aitken, not his best result.
When he kicked that, Ben, he had a really high grip on the footy, very loose grip, and there's no doubt that I think he just lost the ball a bit in his ball drop.
Speaking of beautiful kicks, McGee goes long outside 50. They've got the ball now. That was okay. Riddle spots up his brother, Brad. Kicks it now inside towards the half-forward line. Who at the front spot? Davies was there, put his body on the line at ground level. That's okay. Forsyth is in there. He was tackled. Byron will come in and bounce it about 60 metres out from the Glen Waverley goals. Heathmont have got the first goal on the board. They kick the first 3 of the game. Glen Waverley the next 9 now. Heathmont the first in this third quarter. And Riddle squeezed it out. Davies is in there too. They look like they're going to do it, the Glen Waverley Hawks. That's good play this time. It's Lang goes inside 50. The race is on. Who can trap it? Great tackle there. He's absolutely crunched. And Heathmont will get away with it, so they run the ball onto the outer side of the ground now. They've got players free.
See.
Who's going to lead up front? Still bouncing along, kick inside 50. Aikens in there. Can he put his body on the line? He can. He was double teamed though at the back of the pack. And Knudsen, can he get back to the ball? No. Navai's come in and paid a free kick. It'll go the way of Glen Waverley. We'll go to 2-2. He's got players wide. Lang, well, he got chopped off there by Walker. So it was a little bit risky. So Walker, short pass back to 2-2. They've got the split here. Kicks up towards the wing position, that's okay. Mark's been taken by Zickman. He's got Brad Riddle on short. I've been really impressed with his game this afternoon, especially from quarter time onwards. Riddle kicks it up towards centre half forward, who's in the spot. Sheen got a fist away. Good defensive play by him. It's going to race towards the boundary line. Who's going to be the first to meet it? David Sindri. That was a good pick up. Banged it on his boot. Snapped it back towards the wing position. Front spot there was Baker. Just trying to paddle it to his teammates' advantage. He's going to win a free kick for holding the man. It was a clever bit of play. So Baker. Big job with Bectus. Bectus going out of this side. They cover a lot of ground. So the ball goes over the boundary line out of bounds, centre wing position, right next to the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, which reads Glen Waverley 9-2-55, Heathmont a 4-8-37. So
it should be 32.
4-8-32, yes. Hopefully the guys in the scoreboard are listening to us so they can change that. More frustrating when you're at the ground and the score's not right on the board. Sheen just tried to pluck out a little fresh air shot coming through. That time was Hickey, who's been relatively okay. Well, he's been okay in this first half. Snap around the body by Glen Waverley, goes up towards the half-forward line. Davies came crushing out, so too did Danny Gray, overrunning at Forsyth. He'll paddle over the boundary line and out of bounds, right near the cricket nets here at H.E. Parker Reserve. For the umpire to bring it back in. Throws it in now. It's going to go in this contest to beat absolutely everybody. Hickey, handball over the top into the middle. Clark could be the first one to run onto it. Gets it on the left boot. Kicks it straight down Tutu's throat, you would have thought, but the ball was a little bit skew if in flight and it didn't quite meet him. But Tutu was up to the task and he handballed over the top of his head. Got it back in towards the direction of Kev Clark for Heathmont. Goes backwards to go forwards. Put his teammate under pressure in O'Driscoll. He's got a pretty bad knee at the moment, O'Driscoll, but he's doing okay. Tutu once again across the half-back line. You're not wrong. He's doing very well. Kicks it into the middle of the ground. This has been taken by Aaron Riddle. Switches the plane out of the outer side of the ground. Great running down from back by Clint Walker. Finds himself across the half-forward line. Beautiful kick of the football. It really wouldn't be on him, but it doesn't matter. That is just unforgivable as Matt Carnelli left unattended about 30 metres out from goal. Took the easiest of chest marks, and he'll be having a shot for his third goal and a bit of breathing space, Peter Baird, for the Hawks.
Yeah, some loose checking there from the Heathmont defenders. The ball was always going to go to Carnelli. Walker was always going to try and hit him up as a target, and they left that gap in front of him, and Carnelli's led straight out into it, and Quint Walker's done exactly the right thing and hit him straight on the chest.
The ever-reliable full forward from Glen Waverley's kick 2 this afternoon. Drop, punt, go for it, and it goes straight through the middle for a goal. Bang! They didn't get too excited, did they, the Glen Waverley boys? But you could tell by the goal umpire's action that went straight over her head, and they kicked their 10th goal on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard and scoot away to a pretty handy 4-goal lead now.
It is. It's probably a goal against the run of play so far this quarter, BWS. Heathmont seem to have had the run so far. They've had the ball in their forward line. For the first time, the Glen Waverley Hawks really push it deep. They score with a goal, and that's going to break the heart of guys like Steve Buckle, who are really trying to get his team back up and into the game this quarter.
5 minutes gone here in the third term. Grant Campbell, thanks to Choose Tap Match Stats.
Not too much to report so far. Heathmont, the 12 kicks, Glen Waverley Hawks 14. Only 4 handballs to 3.
Quick kick came around the corner. It's up towards the wing. Lepore takes possession now. Gives a little handball out to Zickman. His handball was back to Hancock, and there's a free kick. Will go to Sam Zickman.
Really liked his game today, Brad Henderson.
Yeah, great game by him today, and so too a great game by this man, Brad Riddle. Quickly plays on. Clark smothers the kick. Kevy Clark with the handball, and there's a free kick going to the Jets.
He copped one.
And that scoreboard's still not right, but at least it's close to what it should be. 5-8-38 should be the Heathmont score. So Barling goes short to Paul. Darren Paul's kick. Neat pass was by O'Driscoll up towards Odermatt. Odermatt on the wing. Long way from home. Winds up with the kick. Nice fist there by Lepore.
Boundary.
Dyson Baker, thanks to Akira Urgent Care on the boundary.
Thank you very much, Brad Henderson. Yeah, Clinton George just came back on, so Heathmont back to 22 men available for changes. Back to you, boys.
Surrey Park have kicked 2 goals to open the third quarter and lead by 14 points. Who knows? The drought could be broken this afternoon.
It could well be. We might be speaking with Andrew Toop after the game if they get up.
Ben Waterworth will never forgive me. He wanted to go out to that game this afternoon, and I told him no.
Clinton George takes possession. And close to the boundary line at this stage, 24-point lead for the Glen Waverley Hawks. 10 goals, 262 to Heathmont, 5 goals, 838. So another one of these long stoppages as we wait for a boundary throw-in. It's been a bit slow in that regard on a few occasions today. Quick kick came from Cook. Strong tackle by Carnelli. Little kick around the corner will be chopped off there by Broadbent. So Luke Broadbent for Heathmont. Comes back inboard. There's a whistle. Free kick will go to Sindri.
Do you know what that one was for there, Brad Henderson? Didn't think there was much in that contest personally.
No, didn't seem to be much in it at all that was detectable from here. So, Sindri to take the free kick. Very static at the moment, the Jets. Not much movement in their forward line, and on this occasion, Danny Keno works his way back to the footy. Villani dives in. He's all wrapped up by foot.
Let's go, Jets!
And we'll have a ball up. So, bit of a lull in play just at the moment. High handball by foot. Couple of handballs came out from Hancock. Hancock gets it back now, gave it to Foot. To Cook it was. Under pressure, his kick didn't really clear the area for the Hawks. Shoal makers to Aaron Riddle. And Aaron Riddle has put the ball out of bounds on the full. So I'll keep going, Benny, with the ball over the outer side. Oh, play goes on. It's inside the forward line. Sheen takes possession, throws it on the boot.
Isley, it's time better spent. Like at the footy.
Program sponsor. Goal there for Darren Sheen. So that is his
Every
third
club
goal
expects
of
high
the
performance
day.
from their team.
And
At Ferntree Gully Holden, you'll find the latest.
Fantastic effort there from Darren Sheen. Really took the play on, charged open into a forward line, put the ball onto the boot, and a fantastic kick there from Darren Sheen. Closes the gap for the Heathmont Jets. That's the goal they needed to really get themselves back into the game.
Just what the doctor ordered for Heathmont. It keeps them alive in this contest. Darren Sheen this afternoon, he's kicked 3 goals, covering a lot of ground, especially in this third term. So the ball goes up onto towards the half-forward line for Glen Waverley this time. It's going to be Himmerman for the Jets to be the first one to get it. Did well. Grubber to kick up towards the wing position, maybe wanting the boundary line. He might get it. Glen Waverley have the numbers. Great bit of tackling too. The umpire not pinging him. So boundary throwing will be the result. Gone 10 minutes here in this third term. Home side trailing. It's been a very straight kicking Glen Waverley Hawks this afternoon. 10 goals, 264. They lead Heathmont, who are 6 goals, 844. Don't know if that still works out, but I'm going with it. Darren Sheen takes the possession from the bounce. And Wouldn't you believe it, he's been paid holding the ball. So the whistle, sometimes maybe it is a little bit hot this afternoon. I can't believe that one as the ball's in the middle of the ground. This is Irvine, going to look to charge the ball forward. Who's in the front spot at the back of the pack? Great mark. Just sort of fell into the arms there.
Sometimes footy, Ben, luck's a fortune. As you said, it's just fallen into his arms there. He's going to go back and have a shot.
David Lang it is who took the mark. So another player who's covered quite a bit of ground. This is a very important goal. They just can't seem to get a couple in a row to Heathmont because the Glen Waverley Hawks just keep answering as Lang comes in and kicks it straight through the middle. And look at them get around him too. That is an important goal in the third quarter, the premiership quarter. And on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, Glen Waverley moved to 11 goals to 68, leading Heathmont, who was 6-8-44.
You're right there, what you said, BWS. Heathmont just trying to string those couple of goals together. They look like they're starting to get a bit of